हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोलने हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना,
सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर
अच्छा नहीं समझा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं। अब आप बताइए।
You said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that you apologize.
अभी पीसी तो
The experts are warning that 10 months would have been sufficient for the government to solve this issue.
क्या तरीका है? आप ऐसे क्यों
Any response to the situation?
कैसे करके आए सबके साथ बाइट ना, आपने सुना सब कुछ, फिर आप
You're saying it's impossible to solve the problem within 9 to 10 months.
कर रहे हैं आप ऐसा
What is your response, sir?
ना, आप ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपको इनको एक एक को हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोलने हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना,
सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर
अच्छा नहीं समझा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं।
सब
अब आप
Sir,
बताइए।
you said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that you apologize. How do you see this? Do you think people would vote for this after what you have said that it's impossible? It's impossible to solve this issue. Any response to that, sir? Because the situation is worsening.
Understand, please, आप अपना क्वेश्चन तो बताएं। What
My questioning, you have apologized that it's impossible to solve this AQI issue. Experts are saying that this could have been if the government had the wheel. Do you think the government has failed?
who is expert that told you? Can you name that expert? So we can at least have a conversation with them and find out. I think it is not I said it's impossible. I must again reiterate, it's impossible for any government, for any purpose. If it was been possible, then why it took 10 years for Aam Aadmi Party?
So how many years maybe? What many years, week?
Please let me answer your question, please. It is not about the years. It are the what steps are taken. We have to completely go with the fossil fuel vehicles. You should adopt EV vehicles, which we are doing. You need to have an end-to-end carpeting of roads, so there should be no dust. You need to remove that all dumps of legacy waste, which we are otherwise doing. So these are few changes which we have to bring in, and it will bring change in the pollution.
People are voting for Nota over AQI. Any response to that?
मैंने अभी आपके
response?
दी थी ना, पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी।
मांगने से पॉल्यूशन कम हो जाएगा।
इस पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी ना आपने। तो मैंने आपको पूरी इंटरव्यू दे के आया हूँ।
How do you see people?
पूरी इंटरव्यू दी है।
People are suffering from respiratory problems, lot of problems, asthma. How do you see that from people?
No, it's a big problem we are facing.
You've shifted the blame.
No, I'm not shifted the blame. No.
The government and the federal
Aam Aadmi Party was here for 10 years. I think you must go and interview Arvind Kejriwal ji for that why they haven't done it in 10 years. If they're expecting to be done in 7-8 months, they should have done it in 10 years.
So what's next then? How do you see?
We are working on it. We'll let you know again.
All right, that was a team of Republic TV reporters confronting the Delhi Environment Minister, given the kind of air emergency that we are having, apocalypse literally, for the poison we are breathing, the chokehold that the system has, and year after year it fails the people, not just of Delhi and Delhi NCR, but the entire northern belt from Punjab, where the stubble burning fires rage and start this polluted air, to eastern parts of India, and this entire belt of layers of smog filled with toxic PM 2.5 makes people difficult to breathe. This effectively, reducing our lifespans in this part of the country, and there's something that needs to be done. The Environment Minister of Delhi, Mahinder Singh Sirsa, there yesterday having apologized, confronted today by Republic Media team, and let's listen to it once again.
Mr. Sirsa, what do you have to say? People are now voting for Nota over AQI. Any response?
काफी ज़्यादा है तो
अभी हम पीसी करके आए ना, अभी पीसी तो करके
The experts are warning that 10 months would have been sufficient for the government to solve this issue.
क्या तरीका है? आप ऐसे क्यों
Any response to the situation?
कैसे करके आए सबके साथ बाइट ना, आपने सुना सब कुछ, फिर आप
You're saying it's impossible to solve the problem within 9 to 10 months.
कर रहे हैं आप ऐसा
What is your response, sir?
ना, आप ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपको इनको एक एक को हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोलने हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना,
सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर
अच्छा नहीं समझा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं। अब आप बताइए।
You said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that you apologize. How do you see this? Do you think people would vote for this after what you have said that it's impossible? It's impossible to solve this issue. Any response to that, sir? Because the situation is worsening.
Understand, please, आप अपना क्वेश्चन तो बताएं।
My questioning, you have apologized realize that it's impossible to solve this AQI issue. Experts are saying that this could have been, if the government had the wheel. Do you think the government has failed?
Who is expert that's told you? Can you name that expert? So we can at least have a conversation with them and find out. I think it is not I said, it's impossible. I must again reiterate, it's impossible for any government, for any purpose. If it has been possible, then why it took 10 years for Aam Aadmi Party?
So how many years maybe? What many years, week?
Please let me answer your question, please. It is not about the years. It are what steps are taken. We have to completely go with the fossil fuel vehicles. You should adopt EV vehicles, which we are doing. You need to have an end-to-end carpeting of roads, so there should be no dust. You need to remove that all dumps of legacy waste, which we are otherwise doing. So these are few changes which we have to bring in, and it will bring change in the pollution.
People are voting for Nota over AQI. Any response to that?
मैंने अभी आपके
response?
दी थी ना, पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी.
मांगने से पॉल्यूशन कम हो जाएगा।
इस पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी ना आपने. तो मैंने आपको पूरी इंटरव्यू दे के आया हूँ.
How do you see people?
पूरी इंटरव्यू दी है.
People are suffering from respiratory problems, lot of problems, asthma. How do you see that from people?
No, it's a big problem we are facing.
You've shifted the blame.
No, I'm not shifted the blame. No.
The government and the federal
Aam
government.
Aadmi Party was here for 10 years. I think you must go and interview Arvind Kejriwal ji for that why they haven't done it in 10 years. If they're expecting to be done in 7-8 months, they should have done it in 10 years.
So what's next then? How do you see?
We are working on it. We'll let you know again.
All right, 7 or 8 or 9 months has become the BJP's defense against whatever Kejriwal government did or did not to tackle this menace, annual menace of winter pollution, which reaches levels with AQI hitting 500 and more. People just can't breathe, they suffer, and they have ailments, and it's generally a state of toxicity and poison going down our lungs. Helplessness galore there at all levels. Unfortunate. Hopefully, this would be part of our 2047 ambitions to make sure that not just Delhi NCR, but rest of the country breathes pure air. On that note, we move on to the next story, which is interesting. The spying taking place in the most ancient way. The Chinese, or we don't know whether it's actually Chinese, but there are Chinese marks all over it. A seagull found with a Chinese GPS on its back near the Karwar INS Kadam Naval Base. China's Research Center for Economic and Environmental Science Academy's address found on the GPS, and the officials are trying to contact the academy. This is the seagull, and there was a GPS system. You can see that chip right there in the middle. Maybe it can be circled. Production can circle it. The chip can be seen. It's being treated as we speak. It's a live picture, a video. The seagull seems to be tired. And this is coming in from Karwar, which is in Karnataka. So let's go to Karnataka. And in Karnataka, we go to Bengaluru. In Bengaluru, we have our sister channel, Our Kannada. And Our Kannada's Abhishek joins us live from Bengaluru. Abhishek, the bird is alive. We can clearly see that chip on the back. And as there's a chip on the block, there's a chip on the back. Seagull and a Chinese GPS system right there.
Abhishek, as soon as the Uttara Kannada's Karwar people found out a seagull which had a GPS fitted on it and which was resting in an unusual place, they immediately informed the defense officers and the officers in the forest limits to make sure that this isn't a spying bird, and after which the officers in the zone took into custody the seagull, after which they also tried to retrieve the GPS and the chips which were located on the seagull, and after which they tried to route down the location of the GPS. They wanted to check if the GPS is emitting signals to any other country, sister country which India relies on, or probably any other country which treats India as an enemy. And after which they got to know that this belongs to a scientific school or a science school which is located in China, and they have tried to get back to the roots of that institution. And at this point of time, the forest officials who took into custody the seagull have mentioned that this is a GPS which usually the scientists fit on various other birds to study the pattern of their flying, of the pattern of their food, of the pattern of their travel, and also they wanted to know how these birds operate in various other weather conditions and various other conditions. And this is one such GPS which has been found out with the seagull. But the question is, if China is able to fit a GPS signal or a tracker on a seagull, why not other countries do that? Probably is China making use of the birds to get any of the information within the naval base is the point of question for which the Chinese embassy or the government will have to answer as of now, because a scientific study, probably the data can be shielded by the government, the data can be taken into custody by the government. So this creates probably a tension situation. We are awaiting the response from the officials or the embassy of China as of now, Abhishek.
Well, you know, Abhishek, had it been a spy, I would have said, has the spy been arrested? Is the spy being questioned at the Joint Interrogation Center? But nothing seems like that happening, because obviously it's a bird. What do you do? The Forest Department, what are they doing with the bird? And I am told that the Chinese are being contacted, obviously, through the embassy.
The latest information what we have received from the SP of that region is that the bird which was kept in the custody, they are making sure that the bird is hydrated and the bird gets set to the weather and the climatic condition as of now. But getting back to the GPS and the location of the GPS, they are tracking the primary source of the production of the GPS where it was installed on the bird, and the officials or the persons who installed the GPS, they might summon the company or the agency which fitted the GPS on the seagull is what we have been informed. Yes, it is sure that the Chinese embassy has been contacted. If any institution have put on a GPS on not only one seagull, but how many of these birds are in the air flying around the entire world, they are demanding a major data of not only this bird, but they wanted to know the entire data of that institution, if this is a continuous process or this is a mission. So we are awaiting the response, if this is a single bird related mission, or is this a study of group of various other birds, or is this any other plan other than studying on the birds, Abhishek?
Or is it the first sign that the Chinese are really running out of money because they are harking back to the ancient ways? Do they not have satellites? Are they running out of satellites and the money to run satellites? Maybe. Interesting. We'll keep close track of those aspects of this very interesting development. A seagull found with a chip with Chinese origins there in Karwar of Karnataka. Moving on from Karnataka to Maharashtra, where complete political drama in the state with a minister facing arrest. Ajit Pawar Group Minister is fearing that he would be arrested, and so he has got himself admitted in a hospital. And this is happening in Mumbai. And if you look at it, Satya Prakash joining us live for more on this. The minister Kokate is Manik Rao Kokate is the minister. He is of the NCP Ajit Pawar faction. He has got himself admitted in the Leelavati hospital, and this after a Nashik court issued a non-bailable warrant against him. Let's try to understand what's the issue, why a minister should be running scared. Satya Prakash joins us on this. Satya Prakash, what is the case in which the Nashik court has issued a warrant, a non-bailable warrant at that, because of which the Maharashtra police, of which Kokate is a minister, is after him? Satya Prakash dropped there, and we'll try to connect with him. The details are that Manik Rao Kokate, a minister in the Maharashtra government belonging to the NCP Ajit Pawar faction, has got himself admitted or gotten himself admitted into the Leelavati hospital for being sick. And the reason is that he has got a non-bailable warrant that's been issued against him by a Nashik court, and the Nashik police is heading to Mumbai with the warrant to obviously arrest him. What's this political drama about? How come there is no relief? How come a minister is running away from the process of law? And the Bombay High Court, in the meanwhile, has given no immediate relief and refused to hear his plea. and that's the reason perhaps maybe he wanted to buy time and that's why he went into the hospital. But what's the issue like? Why is there a warrant against him? That's something we have to understand. Satyaprakash is going to join us over the phone for this. These are the pictures of Manik Rao Kokate of the Ajit Pawar faction. Instead of Satyaprakash, we will get Meenakshi, and Meenakshi is closely tracking the developments. Manik Rao Kokate, why is he running away is the question. And look at this. Court has upheld his 2-year sentence in a cheating case. That's the reason. There was some cheating case against him, and he's been slapped a 2-year term. So till now there was protection available, but now that a non-bailable warrant is there, he cannot evade that. He has to be arrested and put in jail. Meenakshi joins us live for more on this. Meenakshi, what's the latest? The Bombay High Court obviously has rejected the bail petition. And now, where is the minister, and how long before the Nashik police reaches Mumbai? What's the case?
Yes, Abhishek, as you have rightly mentioned, senior leader of NCP, Manik Rao Kokate, the minister of Maharashtra state government, he admitted himself in Lilavati hospital. We are getting information. And why he admitted himself in Lilavati hospital? It's happened, it's a twist we can see in the case which is in 1995 flat allotment scams case. And in this case, what happened today? Nasik court, Nasik session court issued a non-bailable warrant against this minister, Manik Rao Kokate, against him because he failing to appear in court and court direction he doesn't follow after conviction. And this development has triggered sharp political reaction also. Now we are getting information that Nasik police already started from Nasik, and they will arrive in Lilavati hospital, and after arriving they will discuss about Manik Rao Kokate health situation with doctors, and let's see what doctors will say on his health situation. After that, Nasik police will decide what they will do on Manik Rao Kokate's arrest. What happened, we know in 1995, that time of leader Tukaram, he complained against that Manik Rao Kokate that he did allotment, including some. He did in that time some flat allotment, and he did some wrong allotment to his workers. And that time, that leader Tukaram complained against Manik Rao Kokate.
Right.
And after long of years, this case was pending in Nasik court, and now Nasik station court convicted in this case Manik Rao Kokate. And after this, Manik Rao Kokate admitted himself in Lilavati hospital.
All right, Manik Rao Kokate there facing arrest in a 1995 case, 20 years back, 30 years back in fact. And trying to still evade arrest. And of course, he stares at a disqualification. The Fadnavis government obviously perhaps waiting for cues from the courts. The High Court making it clear there is no escaping the sentence, which is for 2 years. Whatever developments we'll bring to you. All right, moving on. Prime Minister Modi is on the last leg of his 3-nation tour. He's going to be landing in Oman just in a while from now. Earlier, he had spent a day in Ethiopia with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia serenading him, right from receiving him at the airport to taking him to a museum in Addis Ababa, and then, of course, bestowing on the Prime Minister the highest civilian honor that Ethiopia gives to any person, including Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister becoming the first head of state of government from anywhere in the world to get that. Here are the details.
A rousing welcome as Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a joint session of the Ethiopian Parliament, becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. This was the 18th Parliament worldwide that Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed. In his historic address, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the deep cultural and civilizational ties between India and Ethiopia. Describing Ethiopia as the land of lions, he drew a personal parallel with his home state Gujarat, saying he felt very much at home in the African nation.
It is a moment of a great privilege for me to stand before you today. It is wonderful to be here in Ethiopia, the land of lions. I feel very much at home because my home state Gujarat in India is also home to lions. I'm honored to be here in this temple of democracy, in the heart of a nation with ancient wisdom and modern aspirations.
Prime Minister Modi also underlined India and Ethiopia's shared democratic values and called for a future built on synergy and the spirit of a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
A beginning that belongs to all of us, whether we live in Addis Ababa or in Ayodhya. In India, we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. It reminds us that beyond politics, beyond borders, beyond differences, we share a common origin.
The address comes at the end of a high-impact state visit aimed at deepening India-Ethiopia ties across political, economic and strategic domains. Earlier on his arrival in Addis Ababa, PM Modi was personally received at the airport by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali. The Prime Minister was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the National Palace, reflecting the growing importance of bilateral relations. During delegation-level talks, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali decided to elevate India-Ethiopia ties to a strategic partnership. PM Modi said the decision will provide new energy, momentum and depth to bilateral ties. India and Ethiopia also signed 8 key MOUs covering customs cooperation, UN peacekeeping training, defense collaboration, data center creation, G20 debt restructuring, expanded ICCR scholarships and artificial intelligence courses.
And security is another important area. We signed the MOU on defense cooperation earlier this year in India. So we have, both the leaders have given us a very clear political guidance that these are the sectors in which Ethiopia is very keen to work with India. And Prime Minister Modi was very forthcoming in conveying to Prime Minister Abiy that India would work shoulder to shoulder with Ethiopia in the spirit of South-South cooperation and expand our partnership across these sectors.
Later in the day, a state banquet was hosted in PM Modi's honor, where Ethiopian artists rendered Vande Mataram, marking a deep emotional moment during the visit. In a special gesture, PM Modi was conferred Ethiopia's highest civilian honor, the Great Honor Nishan of Ethiopia, for his exceptional contribution towards strengthening India-Ethiopia partnership and for his visionary leadership as a global statesman. PM Modi is the first global head of state to receive this award. He accepted the award on behalf of the people of India, calling it a tribute to centuries-old ties.
I thank you for the immense privilege. Yesterday, I was also honored to receive the grand honor, Nishan of Ethiopia, from my dear friend, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. I accept this award with folded hands, with humility, on behalf of the people of India.
The visit sent a strong message of India's expanding engagement with Africa, focused on development partnership, shared security and global cooperation. In the last leg of his three-nation visit, Prime Minister Modi will visit Oman.
All right, moving on, another breaking news development, significant one there, so far as media freedom goes. OTT, or the over-the-top content, both video and audio, is to remain outside of CBFC jurisdiction. That's a decision taken by the Government of India, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, the nodal ministry for that. And the ministry has informed that the three-tier institutional mechanism is or has already been put in place under relevant IT rules, and so the OTT content need not come under the purview of CBFC, which is the Central Board of Film Certification. There's been a demand for the same, and the reason is that the OTT, because of the kind of privacy it provides, leads to a lot of consumption of porn, and there is activism that they should be curtailed and all content should be routed through the CBFC. The government denying that. All right, short break. Coming up on the other side, an obscene display of wealth by a BJP MLA. We'll find out where.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
झुमका, तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका। नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा। तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
Air emergency in Delhi, but BJP blames earlier up government for deteriorating quality. Controversy over BJP MLA's obscene display of wealth during son's wedding. MLA maintains defiance. Congress leader Prithviraj Chavan, after insulting armed forces, now defends his statement, says we don't need a large army.
राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस अभी ये मत लो यार।
अच्छा ठीक
बिल्कुल मेरा राइट है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गिव्स मी राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस।
And when asked for an apology, Chavan says an apology is out of question. Uproar over Shamli triple murder. Republic questions why top Muslim leaders are silent now. Vaping scandal hits TMC. BJP puts out video of Trinamool MP Kirti Azad smoking inside the parliament. And Rashtrapati Bhavan removes all remnants of British Raj, displays portraits of 21 Paramveer Chakra awardees in a gallery of courage. And ladies and gentlemen, we are starting this news wheel with a reaction from a BJP legislator. He's a sitting legislator. His name is Golu Shukla, and Golu Shukla is in the news for his son's wedding. Obscenity on display when just on the wedding fireworks, we are hearing that 70 lakh rupees was spent by the MLA, and this MLA is defending it. This minister, at a time when there are people who are struggling on the streets out in the cold, battling pollution, battling the weather, and this BJP MLA, when confronted on the 70 lakh fireworks show, says, "What's your problem?" He asks Republic, "What's your problem?" Take a look at this. This BJP MLA, for whose son's wedding, the sanctum sanctorum of a temple was opened up, which was closed for the public for almost 5 years since COVID-19, but was opened up for this BJP MLA, and he's defending it, playing the video and the defense.
बीजेपी विधायक गोलू शुक्ला हैं। गोलू जी, आपके बेटे की शादी काफी चर्चाओं में है।
शादी करना कोई गुनाह है क्या? शादी करी है, अच्छे से शादी करी है। बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई, लड़की वालों ने अच्छा से स्वागत करा, सब कुछ अच्छे से हुआ, तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है?
मैं ये बताया यार, 70 लाख की सिर्फ आतिशबाजी हो गई। एक
रसीद है क्या?
रसीद नहीं है, लेकिन जो
लिखा हुआ है, अब आंकड़ा 70 करोड़ का लगा दो, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो लड़की वालों की कार्यक्रम था, बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई थी, वो भी मीडिया समूह से ही है, डिजियाना से, आप उनसे बात करो।
एक तरफ बात होती प्रदूषण की, AQI लेवल की, दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख की आतिशबाजी हो जाए।
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, बारात लेके हम गए थे, हम तो अब वहाँ क्या क्या हुआ ये उनसे पूछो आप।
लेकिन आपके मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह करते हैं, सामूहिक विवाह में बेटे की शादी करते हैं, और आप इतनी ज्यादा जो आपने।
मैं भी 50 जोड़ों का सामूहिक विवाह करता हूँ, 51 जोड़ों का अभी फरवरी में सामूहिक विवाह है गरीब बच्चों का, और बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से करता हूँ। आप भी उसमें आमंत्रित।
एक और वीडियो वायरल हो रहा है, खजराना गणेश मंदिर का, गर्भगृह में जाकर वरमाला किया, ये भी नियम विरुद्ध बताया जा रहा है।
हजारों लोग गणेश जी के दर्शन करने जाते हैं। आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक खजराना गणेश मंदिर में रहें तो आपको दिख जाएगा कि सैकड़ों लोग वहाँ दर्शन करते हैं।
आपको कुछ गलती नहीं लग रही? इतना पैसा बर्बाद करना, इतनी आतिशबाजी इतनी ज्यादा करना, फिजूल खर्ची करना, आपको ये फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाइए। फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही?
एक मिनट आराम से, इस तरीके भैया, सैकड़ों लोग दर्शन करने जाते हैं भगवान के, और हमारे परिवार के बच्चे भी दर्शन करने गए थे, उनने अच्छे से दर्शन करे और भगवान का आशीर्वाद लिया। आप एक बार गणेश जी के मंदिर में जाके देखें, सैकड़ों लोग गर्भगृह में दर्शन करते हैं।
लेकिन ये हो रहा है कि इतना पैसा खर्च करना, एक तरफ गरीबों के पास पैसा नहीं, दूसरे इतनी आतिशबाजी, इतनी जश्न और
अब भैया मेरे को मेरे काम से थोड़ा निकल जाने दो।
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the fireworks display. Fireworks display, we are told only for the fireworks display, what you're seeing on screen, 70 lakh rupees was spent. Republic TV, and we'll show you the two window, the show of wealth, and how inside a restricted temple, the son of this MLA exchanged garlands. The temple was opened up. It was closed. Can we please show both the window visuals, please? Two windows, one of the fireworks. The story is, ladies and gentlemen, the son of the MLA Golu Shukla, at this at this wedding where crores were spent, several crores, we don't know how many, maybe upwards of 5 or 6 crore, we don't know. The minister himself has declared assets over 70 crore rupees. Now, this MLA's son's wedding, the garland exchange was inside. Look at that, that's a sanctum sanctorum. They're walking over the sanctum sanctorum, which is otherwise closed for the public, has been closed for the public since 2020, since COVID-19, 2020. The sanctum sanctorum has been shut off for the public, but was opened up for this MLA's son, BJP MLA's son. And on the right of your screen, this display, this firework display was we are told, worth 70 lakh rupees. Just the fireworks, we are told the contract was worth 70 lakh rupees, according to insiders, people who were there. And when questioned, the minister, the MLA, the BJP MLA defends it. This is Golu Shukla, Republic Satya Vijay confronted him.
हमारे साथ बीजेपी विधायक गोलू शुक्ला हैं। गोलू जी, आपके बेटे की शादी काफी चर्चाओं में है।
शादी करना कोई गुनाह है क्या? शादी करी है, अच्छे से शादी करी है। बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई, लड़की वालों ने अच्छा से स्वागत करा, सब कुछ अच्छे से हुआ, तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है?
मैं ये बताया यार, 70 लाख की सिर्फ आतिशबाजी हो गई। एक
रसीद है क्या?
रसीद नहीं है, लेकिन जो
लिखा हुआ है, अब आंकड़ा 70 करोड़ का लगा दो, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो लड़की वालों की कार्यक्रम था, बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई थी, वो भी मीडिया समूह से ही है, डिजियाना से, आप उनसे बात करो।
एक तरफ बात होती प्रदूषण की, AQI लेवल की, दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख की आतिशबाजी हो जाए।
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, बारात लेके हम गए थे, हम तो अब वहाँ क्या क्या हुआ ये उनसे पूछो आप।
लेकिन आपके मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह करते हैं, सामूहिक विवाह में बेटे की शादी करते हैं, और आप इतनी ज्यादा जो आपने।
मैं भी 50 जोड़ों का सामूहिक विवाह करता हूँ, 51 जोड़ों का अभी फरवरी में सामूहिक विवाह है गरीब बच्चों का, और बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से करता हूँ। आप भी उसमें आमंत्रित।
एक और वीडियो वायरल हो रहा है, खजराना गणेश मंदिर का, गर्भगृह में जाकर वरमाला किया, ये भी नियम विरुद्ध बताया जा रहा है।
हजारों लोग गणेश जी के दर्शन करने जाते हैं। आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक खजराना गणेश मंदिर में रहें तो आपको दिख जाएगा कि सैकड़ों लोग वहाँ दर्शन करते हैं।
आपको कुछ गलती नहीं लग रही? इतना पैसा बर्बाद करना, इतनी आतिशबाजी इतनी ज्यादा करना, फिजूल खर्ची करना, आपको ये फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाइए। फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही?
एक मिनट आराम से, इस तरीके भैया, सैकड़ों लोग दर्शन करने जाते हैं भगवान के, और हमारे परिवार के बच्चे भी दर्शन करने गए थे, उनने अच्छे से दर्शन करे और भगवान का आशीर्वाद लिया।
Especially the surface and subsurface platforms of our adversary. So we are looking with great interest and with great pride when they embark our fleet units at sea.
Sir, during your speech, you said they were operational during Sindoor. About their performance in the operations?
You know that Operation Sindoor is still on. Therefore, any operational details about performance of platforms, etc., is not in order. Suffice it to say that they were embarked on our units and they did what they are supposed to do.
Sir, this is first batch for MH-60 helicopters. Now, the requirement of the Navy is huge. Can you tell us how much is the requirement, and whether we plan to induct any indigenous helicopters also in this size and role in future, sir?
As you are aware that we have already decided for ourselves that we want to be a fully Atmanirbhar force by 2047. That means all platforms, all weapons, sensors, equipment, everything should be made in India by 2047, and we are actively pursuing that vision of Atmanirbharta in the Navy by 2047. The helicopters are no different, so to meet the immediate requirement, we have got these 24 helicopters, but there are parallel processes also on, especially the design and development case of multi-role helicopters. There is a case for utility helicopter maritime, and both these cases are being pursued with our industry, especially the HAL and other DPSUs. So those are the two cases which we are pursuing to meet the long-term goals. There are some timelines which have been indicated to us, which we are studying as to whether those timelines are okay, or we require additional helicopters off the shelf to meet the operational requirements of our Navy. So we are looking at all options which are open, but the desired end state is that everything has to be Atmanirbhar.
Sir, you talked about the MQ-9B Navy for surveillance roles. Any other surveillance aircraft the Navy is looking at from indigenous sources, sir?
Yes, so like I said, we have a case of 31 MQ-9s, 15 for the Navy and 8 each for Army and Air Force. Their contract was signed last year, and we are looking forward for their induction in say 3 or 4 years' time. Parallelly, we are of course looking at another indigenous case wherein we have teamed up with the Coast Guard for the base aircraft will be C-295, and we want to induct 15 medium-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft, and the Coast Guard wants to induct 9 triple MA aircraft for their role worthiness, whatever they want. So that case is progressing. In addition, we have also are considering to induct 6 more P8Is because of total requirement is 27. We have gaps in that sense. So we are looking at inducting 6 more. That case is also progressing.
Sir, you were recently in Brazil. That during your visit there, we signed a very important tripartite agreement with the Brazilian Navy for the Scorpions. Can you tell us, is there a possibility, there are other operators of the Scorpion in the region, is there a possibility that India becomes a hub for friendly foreign nations for submarine repair and other activities?
We have got tremendous experience in operating the Scorpions now. The first one was commissioned by Honorable Prime Minister in 2017, as you would know. And the last one was commissioned by him in January of this year. So we have got 6 operational submarines, and we have done a large number of indigenization of component level. So A, maintenance, but B, also repairs. Our shipyard is the base shipyard, that is the Majgaon Docks Limited, but also other shipyards are capable of carrying out maintenance and refits of submarines. So I see no reason as to why we cannot become the hub, the word which you use, for the Scorpions operating countries, and help them and work together with them to ensure that all of us gain from this initiative.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
And moving on to the big story, ladies and gentlemen, of pollution in not just Delhi NCR, but across the country, in different parts of the country. We have a map. We'll put out that map in just a short while from now. And what that map essentially will show you is that nearly 25% of the country's population is affected by pollution. The levels are in the severe category to poor category, very poor category in most parts of the country. And in Delhi, there is a huge political blame game. Republic TV tried questioning the Delhi minister, who, by the way, on
Tuesday said that he's sorry that they're not able to do much, claiming that 8 to 10 months were not enough to fight the pollution in Delhi. And on the debate last evening with Arnab Goswami, we debated the hashtag Nota for AQI on why political parties, on whether people should vote Nota on the issue of AQI. I'd like to play out the response of the Delhi minister, who, by the way, continued the blame game today, continued to blame Aam Aadmi Party. The BJP has been in power for about 10 months, but continuing to blame the Aam Aadmi Party. Even now, we questioned him. This is Mahinder Sirsa earlier today.
मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि जो व्हीकलर पोल्यूशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए और बड़ा साधन मेट्रो है। मेट्रो के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की तरफ से 3000 करोड़ 2929 करोड़ रुपए एग्जैक्टली 2025-26 के बजट के मुताबिक दिया जा चुका है। इससे लाजपत नगर से साकेत, इंद्रलोक टू इंद्रप्रस्था, रिठाला टू, और ये सारे जो फेसिस हैं, इन फेसिस के लिए 940 करोड़ रुपए ऑलरेडी दिया जा चुका है। एक जगह 336 करोड़ रुपए डिस्पर्स किया जा चुका है। और पुरानी लायबिलिटी जो थी मेट्रो की, जिसके कारण सारे काम रुके पड़े थे, वो भी 2700 करोड़ रुपए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने पुरानी लायबिलिटी को भी खत्म करने का किया है। एमसीडी जो मैंने पहले बताया बहुत सार्थक हो सकती है पोल्यूशन को खत्म करने में। उनका लास्ट ईयर के मुताबिक हम इस साल उनको, पिछले सालों में उनके पास 7663 करोड़ जाते थे, इस बार 10,000 करोड़ रुपए हम उनको दे रहे हैं, जो कि काफी एक्स्ट्रा है। इसमें क्या क्या है, एक तो उनको 500 करोड़ रुपए की हमने वन टाइम असिस्टेंस दी है। इसके साथ ही 300 करोड़ रुपए हमने और उनको हर साल फाइनेंशियल एड देने की बात किया, जिससे वो कूड़े को और साइंटिफिक तरीके से खत्म कर सकें, कूड़े दिल्ली में ना दिखाई दे। इसके लिए 300 करोड़ रुपए हम एक्स्ट्रा दे रहे हैं। और इसी के साथ, जैसे मैंने पहले बताया था, एमआरएस के लिए भी 2700 करोड़ रुपया हमारी सरकार एमसीडी को देने जा रही है।
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to play out some of the sound bites. Let's play the sound bites of the opposition. What they have been saying in Parliament, several parliamentarians asking why pollution should not be debated inside both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Nota for AQI campaign continues. Take a look.
मैम, दिल्ली में जिस तरीके से प्रदूषण की स्थिति है, दिल्ली सरकार में मंत्री मजिंदर सिंह सिरसा माफी मांग रहे हैं।
और क्या करेगा बेचारा, यही तो करेगा। इनके पास और कोई इलाज है भी नहीं। उनके अनफॉर्चुनेटली उनके माफी मांगने से हमारी सेहत ठीक नहीं होती है। हमें कॉन्क्रीट कदम उठाना है। क्या करें आज? और जरा कंफ्यूजन शुरू कर दिए, कह दिए कि ग्राफ 4 आ गई तो ये गाड़ी नहीं चलेगी, वो गाड़ी नहीं चलेगी। आप जानते हैं कितने परेशानी फैला दी है राजधानी में। लोग, गाड़ियों का हालात आप जाके देख लीजिए, बॉर्डर्स पे और पेट्रोल स्टेशन में क्या हंगामा मचा हुआ है। क्या बात कर रहे हैं? ये सीजन सेशन 2-3 दिन में खत्म हो जाएगी, ये मुद्दा भी बैठ जाएगी। लोग जिनको मजबूरी में यहाँ रहना पड़ता है, उनका हालात क्या करेंगे? आप कोई सब्सिडी दे रहे हैं यहाँ रहने के लिए, क्या करना चाह रहे हैं? अरे कुछ परमानेंट इलाज निकालिए, बुलाइए इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट्स। इसमें शर्म की कोई बात नहीं। हमारे पास तजुर्बा नहीं है तो दूसरों से हमें लेना चाहिए। उन लोग को बुला लीजिए, पूछिए, कदम कदम पे उठाइए, सिटीजन्स को इन्फॉर्म करिए, टीवी से बयान दीजिए कि क्या कदम उठाना, कैसा करना है। ये कुछ करते नहीं, तजुर्बा नहीं, कुछ नहीं। अब सॉरी से क्या होगा भाई? सॉरी कहने पे कोई जीएसटी लागू नहीं है, हम जो मर्जी सॉरी बोले।
कह रहे 8 महीने में सब कुछ नहीं हो सकता, अभी तो मैं सत्ता में।
अच्छा भैया, 8 महीने में नहीं हो सकता है। आप केंद्र सरकार से आपका संबंध है ना, तो सरकार 11 साल से बैठी है, वो क्या कर रहे हैं? हर साल पे यही होता है पोल्यूशन। विंटर में जाके किसानों पे लाद दिए, फिर आप बोल दिए दिवाली के पटाखे से होते हैं। 2 दिन दिवाली के पटाखे से AQI ऐसी बढ़ गई। तो आज क्या चल रहा है? कौन से पटाखे चल रहे हैं? कौन सा किसान जला रहा है कि आप ये इल्जाम उन पे लगाए? आपने कुछ किया नहीं।
इंसान के साथ साथ जो जानवर है उन्हें भी दिक्कतें हो रही है, कह रहे हैं।
ऑफ कोर्स, मेरे घर में कुत्ते भी खांस रहे हैं।
Mr. Sirsa, what do you have to say? People are now voting for Nota.
over any response?
काफी ज्यादा है तो
अभी हम पीसी करके आए ना, अभी पीसी तो करके आए।
Experts are warning that 10 months would have been sufficient for the government to solve this issue.
क्या तरीका है? आप ऐसे क्यों?
Any response to the situation?
कैसे करके आए सबके साथ बाइट ना, आपने सुना सब कुछ, फिर आप
You're saying it's impossible to solve the problem within 9 to 10 months.
कर रहे हैं आप ऐसा?
What is your response, sir?
ना आप ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपको इनको एक एक को हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोले, हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना?
सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर
अच्छा नहीं समझा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं। अब आप बताइए।
You said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that. You apologize. How do you see this? Do you think people would vote for this after what you have said that it's impossible? It's impossible to solve this issue. Any response to that, sir? Because the situation is worsening.
Please, आप अपना क्वेश्चन तो बताएं।
My questioning, you have apologized that it's impossible to solve this AQI issue. Experts are saying that this could have been if the government had the wheel. Do you think the government has failed?
Who is expert that's told you? Can you name that expert? So we can at least have a conversation with them and find out. I think it is not I said, it's impossible. I must again reiterate, it's impossible for any government, for any purpose. If it has been possible, then why it took 10 years for Aam Aadmi Party?
So how many years maybe? What many years, week?
Please let me answer your question, please. It is not about the years. It are the what steps are taken. We have to completely go with the fossil fuel vehicles. You should adopt EV vehicles, which we are doing. You need to have an end-to-end carpeting of roads, so there should be no dust. You need to remove that all dumps of legacy waste, which we are otherwise doing. So these are few changes which we have to bring in, and it will bring change in the pollution.
People are voting for Nota over AQI. To that.
मैंने अभी आपके रिस्पॉन्स दी थी ना, पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी।
मांगने से पॉल्यूशन कम हो जाएगा।
इस पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी ना आपने। तो मैंने आपको पूरी इंटरव्यू दे के आया हूँ।
How do you see people?
पूरी इंटरव्यू दी है।
People are suffering from respiratory problems, lot of problems, asthma. How do you see that from people?
No, it's a big problem we are facing.
You've shifted the blame.
No, I'm not shifted the blame. No.
The government and the federal
Aam Aadmi Party was here for 10 years. I think you must go and interview Arvind Kejriwal ji for that why they haven't done it in 10 years. If they're expecting to be done in 7-8 months, they should have done it in 10 years.
So what's next then?
We are working on it. We'll let you know again.
Ladies and gentlemen, getting you an update from the Goa Birch nightclub tragedy. The Luthra brothers dragged back have been brought to Goa, and there was a very dramatic sequence that came in today where they're running away from the media. Republic has been reporting the story, and when the media was there to ask them questions, they ran from the media. There's a very dramatic sequence of them running inside the court as well. We'll get you those pictures, but here's the story on the investigation so far into the Goa fire tragedy.
Luthra brothers landing in Goa, where 25 people were killed in a deadly night fire in their nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane. Goa police flew key accused Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra from Delhi to Goa for questioning. The brothers, owners of the nightclub, are in Goa police custody.
We are standing at the international airport of Goa in Mapsa, and let me show you, there's this gate number 5 from where they'll be coming out anytime soon. They are expected, they'll come out, they'll escorted by the team who was present in Delhi to take their custody, including senior IPS officer, sub-inspector, inspector and Havaldars. And initially we're getting the information right now from the ground that they'll be taken for medical testing to Azilo, that is the district hospital in Mapsa, and then they'll be taken to Anjuna police station, wherein this entire case has been registered. We all know that under the sections of 105, 125 and 287, that is culpable homicide. On the other hand, endangering lives and inappropriate use of fire or combustible matters. All these sections of BNS are registered in the FIR in the name of alleged perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy.
The brothers were brought back to India yesterday after being deported from Thailand. The move to Goa followed a Delhi court granting Goa police a 2-day transit remand, allowing the accused to be brought from Delhi to Goa to assist the investigation. After landing in Goa, the brothers were interrogated by Goa police at the Anjuna police station, where investigators collected statements and examining evidence linked to the blaze. They were produced before a court in Mapusa as part of routine remand proceedings. Goa police sought extended custody and further remand to deepen their probe and gather evidence.
वो आप आ चुके हैं, वो आए आप। वो लेकर आए
की जान गई है, क्या आप जिम्मेदारी लेंगे क्या? गौरव मिश्रा,
आप आए यहाँ पर,
क्या आप जिम्मेदारी लेंगे क्या?
ट्रेड लाइसेंस 2 दिनों में मिला था।
फायर का एनओसी नहीं था
2 दिनों में ट्रेड लाइसेंस मिला था। अक्रॉस 22 स्टेट्स सर।
दूसरा कुछ कहना चाहेंगे आप?
A first information report has been registered against the Luthra brothers under sections including culpable homicide not amounting to murder, negligence and violations of fire safety norms under the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. The FIR says the nightclub operated without proper safety measures, contributing to the scale of the tragedy. On 6th of December, a massive blaze tore through the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Arpora, North Goa, killing 25 people and injuring dozens during a dance event. The fire spread rapidly, overwhelming rescue efforts and raising questions about fire safety compliance. The brothers fled to Thailand hours after the fire, prompting police to issue lookout notices and an Interpol alert before their detention and deportation. With the prime accused now in Goa and facing serious charges, including culpable homicide and negligence, the investigation enters a decisive phase as authorities seek to establish accountability for one of the state's deadliest fire tragedies.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Right, the Rekha Gupta government struggles and fails to do something, anything whatsoever about the AQI crisis of Delhi NCR and puts the onus entirely on the earlier AAP government. But it's not just Delhi NCR. It's entire North Indian belt, which has become a gas chamber. That's our focus with a lot of attention to what the governments are doing. Let's begin with the headlines. Shocking case of triple murder in UP's Shamli. Man murders wife and daughters for not wearing burqa. Uproar over Shamli triple murder. Republic questions why top Muslim leaders are silent now. Controversy over BJP MLA's obscene display of wealth during son's wedding. The Madhya Pradesh legislator maintains defiance. A vaping scandal hits TMC. BJP puts out video of Trinamool MP Kirti Azad smoking inside the house. Maharashtra Minister Manikrao Kokate faces arrest over flat scam.
साल की बर्बादी जिनकी हम झेल रहे हैं, जिनका हर दिन पोल्यूशन आज के साल के मुकाबले ज्यादा रहता रहा, जो मैंने अभी भी आंकड़े बताए कि अगले हफ्ते क्या होने वाला है, ये पिछले आंकड़ों से देखकर बताया। हमारे समय पे ऐसा नहीं हो, इसके लिए हम यत्नशील हैं।
That's Mahinder Sirsa air emergency in Delhi, but BJP blames earlier AAP government for deteriorating air quality in the national capital. All right, let's begin with the breaking coming in from Punjab. The state's police and its anti-gangster task force, a joint operation with the Mohali police, have carried out an encounter on the Ambala highway in which one of the key shooters wanted in the high-profile murder of Kabaddi promoter Kunwar Digvijay Singh alias Rana Balachuria was killed. Balachuri, to recall, on 15th in Sohana village of Mohali, 3 youths posing as fans during a Kabaddi match killed player Rana Balachuri by shooting him under the pretext of taking a selfie. And now in an encounter, one of the suspects, one of the key shooters has been in fact eliminated. Let's go to Lalit Sharma. He's joining us live from Chandigarh for more on this. That's where the action is. Lalit, what can you share about this? Was this accused now killed in encounter directly involved in the Rana Balchoria murder?
If we talk about in the joint operation of the Punjab police and the Delhi police, now in all the 3 have been arrested. Right now what we are getting the input from the Punjab police, the main accused has also been arrested from the Delhi airport, while one has been eliminated near Lalru, which is in the national highway near Ambala, in a brief encounter in which 2 police men were also injured, while a third person who helped in the operation has also been held from Tarantaran. His name is said to be Harpinder alias Middu. So all the 3 have been arrested by the Punjab STF. Apart from that, if we talk about on 15th of this month, Rana Balachori, a Kabaddi player and a promoter, was being shot by point blank eating when a Kabaddi was going in Ambala. 3 persons posed on the pretext of taking a selfie, just gunned Rana Balachoria, who is also being known as Rana Digvijay Singh. So police have arrested all the 3. Right now what we are getting the input. Back to the studio.
Okay, thank you so much. With those details, Lalit Sharma there in the Chandigarh Mohali encounter where the Punjab police has eliminated a gangster who had carried out a murder of a sportsperson, Rana Digvijay Singh. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wedding that lit up the skies literally, having also ignited a debate. Viral videos from Indore show an opulent celebration for the wedding of the son of BJP MLA Golu Shukla, complete with grand decor, a religious spectacle, and fireworks reportedly worth 70 lakh rupees. This wasn't just the scale of the celebration that drew attention, it's also the privilege on display, with visuals emerging from a restricted area of a temple closed to ordinary devotees since the COVID pandemic. Look at this, the backdrop, the temple resurrected and used only for the wedding purpose. The MLA remains nonchalant, absolutely defiant about this display of wealth. Golu Shukla, BJP MLA in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Let's listen to how he defended or did not defend this obscene display of wealth.
हमारे साथ बीजेपी विधायक गोलू शुक्ला हैं। गोलू जी, आपके बेटे की शादी काफी चर्चाओं में है।
शादी करना कोई गुनाह है क्या? शादी करी है, अच्छे से शादी करी है। बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई, लड़की वालों ने अच्छा से स्वागत करा, सब कुछ अच्छे से हुआ, तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है?
उसमें ये बताया जा रहा है 70 लाख की सिर्फ आतिशबाजी हो गई। एक
रसीद है क्या?
रसीद नहीं है, लेकिन जो
लिखा हुआ है, अब आंकड़ा 70 करोड़ का लगा तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो लड़की वालों की कार्यक्रम था, बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई थी, वो भी मीडिया समूह से ही है, डिजियाना से, आप उनसे बात करो।
एक तरफ बात होती प्रदूषण की, AQI लेवल की, दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख की आतिशबाजी हो जाए।
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, बारात लेके हम गए थे, हम तो वहाँ क्या क्या हुआ ये उनसे पूछो आप।
लेकिन आपके मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह करते हैं, सामूहिक विवाह में बेटे की शादी करते हैं, और आप इतनी ज्यादा जो आपने।
मैं भी 50 जोड़ों का सामूहिक विवाह करता हूँ, 51 जोड़ों का अभी फरवरी में सामूहिक विवाह है गरीब बच्चों का, और बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से करता हूँ। आप भी उसमें आमंत्रित हैं।
एक और वीडियो वायरल हो रहा है, खजराना गणेश मंदिर का, गर्भगृह में जाकर वरमाला किया, ये भी नियम विरुद्ध बताया जा रहा है।
हजारों लोग गणेश जी के दर्शन करने जाते हैं। आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक खजराना गणेश मंदिर में रहें तो आपको दिख जाएगा कि सैकड़ों लोग वहाँ दर्शन करते हैं।
आपको कुछ गलती नहीं लग रही इतना पैसा बर्बाद करना, इतनी आतिशबाजी इतनी ज्यादा करना, फिजूल खर्ची करना? आपको ये फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाइए। फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? खजराना गणेश मंदिर में जाते हैं।
एक मिनट आराम से, इस तरीके भैया, सैकड़ों लोग दर्शन करने जाते हैं भगवान के, और हमारे परिवार के बच्चे भी दर्शन करने गए थे, उनने अच्छे से दर्शन करे और भगवान का आशीर्वाद लिया। आप एक बार गणेश जी के मंदिर में जाके देखें, सैकड़ों लोग गर्भगृह में दर्शन करते हैं।
लेकिन ये हो रहा है कि इतना पैसा खर्च करना, एक तरफ गरीबों के पास पैसा नहीं, दूसरे इतनी आतिशबाजी, इतनी जश्न और
अब भैया मेरे को मेरे काम से थोड़ा निकल जाना दो।
All right, Satyavijay joins us live from Indore for more on this. Satyavijay, ये जो MLA हैं, ये ऐसे कैसे ब्रेजन आउट कर सकते हैं कि नहीं हमने कोई गलती नहीं की? क्या कैन ही जस्टिफाई ये सोर्स ऑफ इनकम इनका?
जी देखिए, इंदौर से ये बीजेपी विधायक है गोलू शुक्ला। पुश्तैनी इनका कारोबार है, ट्रांसपोर्ट का इनका कारोबार है, ठेकेदारी का इनका कारोबार है। लेकिन जिस तरह के वीडियो वायरल हुए गोलू शुक्ला के बेटे की शादी के, जिसमें कि बताया जा रहा है कि इसका कोई अधिकृत आंकड़ा तो नहीं है, कोई रसीद तो नहीं है, लेकिन ये जानकारी हर जगह चल रहा है कि 70 लाख से ज्यादा की आतिशबाजी की। इसी पर जब हमने उनसे सवाल किया तो उनका कहना था कि आपके पास कोई रसीद है कि आप आंकड़ा तो 70 करोड़ का भी कह सकते हैं। मतलब ये कि वो अपनी जहां एक तरफ प्रदूषण की बात होती है, वहीं AQI लेवल की बात होती है, वहीं दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख से ज्यादा की आतिशबाजी। हमने उनसे सवाल किया कि मध्य प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह में अपने बेटे की शादी करते हैं और आप इतना जश्न और शान शौकत से कर रहे हैं। इस पर उनका कहना था कि अगर अच्छे से शादी हो गई तो उसमें गुनाह कर दिया क्या। तीसरी तरफ खजराना गणेश मंदिर का एक तस्वीर भी है जिसमें कि नियम विरुद्ध है, जो कोविड के बाद से खजराना गणेश मंदिर में गर्भगृह के अंदर नहीं जाया जा सकता है, लेकिन चूंकि VVIP कल्चर का है, इसे गोलू शुक्ला हैं, विधायक हैं, बीजेपी की सरकार है, तो इस जगह भी उनके बेटे के लिए नियम तोड़े गए और उन्होंने गर्भगृह के अंदर से बरमाला की। तो आतिशबाजी 70 लाख से ज्यादा की हुई है। इसके अलावा शान शौकत से जिस तरह से शादी हुई, सजावट में और बाकी सब चीजों में हमारे पास जो इनपुट्स हैं, अधिकृत तौर पर तो नहीं, लेकिन जो हमें जानकारी मिल रही है कि 50 करोड़ से ज्यादा की ये पूरी शादी थी, जिसमें पूरा उन्होंने अपना रसूख दिखाया। सिर्फ 70 लाख की तो आतिशबाजी स्टेज पर जो बरमाला हुई उसके बाद कर दी गई। इसके अलावा भी हजारों की संख्या में गेस्ट वहां पहुंचे थे, हजारों की संख्या में, सैकड़ों की संख्या में VVIPs पहुंचे थे, खुद मुख्यमंत्री पहुंचे थे। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमने जब उन्हें ग्रिल करने की कोशिश की गोलू शुक्ला को, जो कि बीजेपी से विधायक है, पहली बार के विधायक है, पहले इनका बैकग्राउंड देखे तो कांग्रेस में भी ये रहे हैं और इनके जो पिता हैं बड़ी शख्सियत रहे इंदौर के, लेकिन उन्हें अपनी गलती वो मानने को तैयार नहीं थे। उन्होंने पूरी गलती लड़की वालों पर थोपने की कोशिश की कि मेरे से क्या पूछते हो, हम तो बारात लेकर गए थे। लेकिन ये पूरा जो शान शौकत हो, ये आतिशबाजी, 70 लाख से ज्यादा के बम पटाखे फोड़ देना, प्रदूषण फैलाना, मंदिर का नियम तोड़ना, गर्भगृह में चले जाना, ये सब बताते हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं सत्ता का जो रसूख है वो यहाँ पर उनका देखने को मिला, और कैमरे पर भी उनके चेहरे पर किसी भी तरह की कोई सिकन देखने को नहीं मिली।
Absolutely, even if you have money, should you indulge in this very vulgar display of wealth is the question. that one is left asking after these pictures and the defiance that comes with it. BJP MLA Golu Shukla of Indore there. All right, moving on. At a time when the country was saluting the courage and sacrifice of its armed forces, questions are once again being raised, not against the enemy, but against the Indian Army itself. This time, the remarks have come from senior Congress leader and former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan, who questioned the success of Operation Sindoor, and that too on Vijay Diwas. Chavan's comments have triggered a massive political storm, with many calling it a direct attack on the valor and credibility of Indian Army.
When the nation stood behind their soldiers in unity, Congress chose doubt over duty. Once again, questions are being raised, but this time not on the enemy, but on the success of the Indian Army during Operation Sindoor. Another senior Congress leader, Prithviraj Chavan, pointing fingers at the valor of our Indian Army. When asked for an apology, the Congress leader justified his statement.
पहिल्या दिवशी आपला संपूर्ण पराभव झाला. 7 तारखेला जे हवाई युद्ध अर्ध्या तासात झालं त्यामध्ये आपला टोटल पराभव झाला, हे कोणी मान्य करो अगर न करो. आणि त्यामुळे त्या दिवशी भारताची जी विमानं पडली त्या दिवशी सगळा भारताचा एअरफोर्स हा ग्राउंड झाला आणि त्यानंतर एकही विमान उडलं नाही. पण कुठेही विमान उडलं की पाकिस्तानचं तुमचं विमान ग्वाल्हेर असेल किंवा भटिंडा असेल किंवा सिरसा असेल तिथं वाढायची शक्यता असल्यामुळं आपलं कंप्लीट एअरफोर्स ग्राउंड झालं. मैं बाद में आराम से बात करूंगा. अभी आराम से बात करेंगे. तो आपको ये जो बयान है उस पर आप माफी मांग रहे हैं? बिल्कुल सवाल नहीं उठता. बिल्कुल सवाल नहीं उठता. हाँ जी सर. नहीं सवाल नहीं उठता. सवाल मैं बात करूंगा ना डिटेल में. माफी मांगने का सवाल. माफी कहाँ मांगूं? लेकिन आपके हिसाब से स्टेटमेंट गलत था क्या सर? बिल्कुल. लोग मीडिया में वही सब जगह ऐसे ही चला कि अपमान हुआ है. मैं करूंगा डिटेल बात करूंगा. जी. विल टॉक टू मीडिया प्रॉपर्ली. सो आर यू अपोलोजाइजिंग राइट नाउ? अरे आउट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. ओके. मैं राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस. अभी ये मत लो यार. अच्छा ठीक. बिल्कुल मेरा राइट है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गिव्स मी राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस.
The Congress meanwhile openly siding with their leader.
प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री रहे, महाराष्ट्र के केंद्रीय मंत्री रहे, मैंने उनका ऐसा कोई बयान नहीं सुना है और जब तक मैं उनसे सुन न लूं मैं उस पर कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं दूंगा. मैं सिर्फ इतना कहूंगा, मैं भारत की सेना का पराक्रम का पूरा देश ऋणी है.
Chavan not only insulted the army but also the victims of terrorism.
See, first of all, he need to apologize because I am again saying it is not about any political party. It is about Indian Army. Second of all, when he comes up and says that we do not need defense system, then he should understand that if he's sleeping at his house properly, if he's at his home, if his family is safe, it is all because of the Indian Army. It is all because of the defense system.
The distasteful remark has triggered condemnation from several leaders. Union Minister Giriraj Singh says, no one has the right to insult the valor of the armed forces. Those who do so can never think of the nation's interest. It has become Congress's habit to insult the armed forces.
सेना के शौर्य पर किसी को गाली देने का अधिकार नहीं है. जो लोग सेना के शौर्य को अपमानित करते हैं वो कभी देश हित की बात सोच ही नहीं सकते.
BJP also called Chavan a Pakistani spokesperson.
Prithviraj Chavan, a former chief minister and a senior Congress leader, has ranted like a third-rate Pakistani spokesperson, deliberately maligning our armed forces, calling our armed forces to be disbanded on Vijay Diwas. This is a deliberate insult, maligning our armed forces. Shame on the Congress party. And why has Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi not condemned and initiated action against Mr. Prithviraj Chavan?
As Congress continues to raise questions, the backlash only grows louder from leaders and from families fallen victim to terrorism. For many, doubting Operation Sindoor isn't just politics. It's an insult to sacrifice of our armed forces.
A shocking incident has come to light in Shamli district of Uttar Pradesh, where a wife's decision to go to her parents' house without wearing a burqa proved fatal when her husband shot and killed her upon her return home a month later. When the two daughters woke up at night hearing the gunshots, he killed them too and buried all three in 6-foot deep pit he had dug in the house as part of his plan. 6 days later, the accused confessed to the police during questioning that he had killed his wife and two daughters. Around 10 p.m., the police excavated the house and recovered the bodies of all three, sending them for post-mortem. Here is a soundbite from the Shamli police.
फारूक नाम का व्यक्ति है और उसके पत्नी और दो बच्चियां गायब हैं। तत्काल हमारे चौकी इंचार्ज गंगेरू, हमारे एसएचओ कांधला सतीश मौके पे आए और फारूक जिसकी पत्नी और बच्चे गायब थे उससे उन लोगों ने सख्ती से पूछताछ की और उसने बताया कि मेरी पत्नी के साथ मैं और हमारे 5 बच्चे घर में रहते, बहुत गरीब मैं था और मैं होटल पे काम करता, रोटी बनाने काम करता था मैं। हमारी पत्नी विगत 1 महीने पहले, चूँकि मैं गरीब था और हमारी शादी मंसूरपुर मुजफ्फरनगर में हुई थी, वो हमसे कुछ पैसे मांग रही थी, इसको लेके हमारा विवाद हो गया था और बिना वो बुर्का और नकाब के अपने मैके चली गई अपनी छोटी बच्ची को लेकर के। इस बात को लेकर काफ़ी परेशान था कि हमारी इज्जत चली गई और मैं जाके 1 महीने बाद अपनी पति को घर पे लेके आया यहाँ पे और तभी से मेरे मन में भाव जग गया कि लग रहा है इसका मामला कुछ और है और मुझे मेरी इज्जत अब नहीं करती है ये, और तभी मैंने इसको जान से मारने का प्लान बनाया।
Shambhavi joins us live from Shamli. In fact, Shambhavi, horrific to say the least, but what have you been able to gather in terms of what circumstances the family lived in that made Farooq such an obnoxious character?
Well, one thing for sure that we know is this was not an isolated incident. Farooq has been described by his family, his neighbors and his friends as somebody who did not like involving with people, be it a happy event or a sad event, somebody's death, marriage. He never used to step outside of the house, and neither did he let his wife Tahira go. So he was of a very conservative mind, and a lot of people even expressed, when the public spoke to his neighbors, they told us that it has been more than 12 years of their marriage and they haven't even seen Tahira's. Most of them, they haven't even seen Tahira's face. So he was very adamant on certain rules. One thing which agitated him the most that we know for sure, and that he has even confessed before the police, that he was agitated by the fact that she did not wear a burqa when she went back to her home, and that is something that angered him a lot, and he planned this. Now, this was not something which happened in a fit of rage. This was premeditated murder when he dug up a 6 feet deep pit in his house on the pretext of actually building it or digging it up for a water tank near the washroom. That was his plan. But then he woke his wife up to go make a cup of tea, and when she proceeded towards the kitchen, he shot at her on her back. So that is how she died. But after hearing the gunfire, the eldest daughter of the couple, 12-year-old Afreen, woke up. She came outside of the bedroom. That is when he shot at her too. After hearing 2 gunshots, the 5-year-old child, Sareen, the 5-year-old daughter of the couple, also woke up. Then Farooq proceeded to strangle her to death. So this is how he killed 3 people, his wife and 2 daughters, and buried them deep in the 6 feet deep pit. And this house completely looked normal for 6 days. People didn't know where these 3 people were. That was the first time when the Farooq's father had some suspicion that these people are missing. That is when he went to the police, and the police dug up that part of the house, and that is when they saw 3 bodies of Tareen, Afreen and Sareen. Republic is en route. Tareen's house, Tareen's parents' house, which is around 70 kilometers away from Shamli, and we will keep bringing the ground updates back to you.
Shambhavi, just stay with us. In fact, earlier our team also spoke to the accused's mother, and In this, there is a shocking allegation where she says that it was often the case that the wife and daughters would be locked inside the house. Listen.
फारूक जो कि आरोपी है, उनकी माता जी हमारे साथ है। माता जी, फारूक किस मिजाज का शख्स था? क्योंकि जैसा कि उसने पुलिस को भी बताया कि बुरखा नहीं पहनने से बहुत नाराज हो गया, कभी ऐसे अनबन करता था कपड़ों को लेके भी वो?
जी वो पर्दे से में रखा था, बुरखे से मैं अंदर रहती, बाहर नहीं आती, बच्चे बुच्चे आ जाते हैं, कोई बाहर का काम इतना हमारे साथ रहा, ठीक हम कर देते, हमारे साथ लड़ाई कर रखी थी, साल से वजह बनते हैं।
आप लोगों से बात नहीं होती थी?
ना बाप से ना अम्मी से, बच्चे थे मेरे पास आ जाते, कोई चीज की तमन्ना थी ले जाते, दे देते। हाँ।
तो जब जैसे उनकी पत्नी और दोनों बेटियां जो हैं वो गायब हो गई, उसने तो दफना दिया, लेकिन परिवार को या आस पड़ोस में किसी को भनक नहीं लगी, तो आप लोगों ने पूछा आखिर कहाँ हैं वो लोग, आ नहीं रहे हैं, क्या जवाब मिलता था?
बच्चों ने बताया मेरी अम्मी, मेरा हम घर बनाओगे, मेरी अम्मी ने शामली वो लेकर किराए पर कमरा वहां छोड़ दी।
The question is, where are those liberals who would defend hijab in debates as a matter of choice? Is that choice? And if a choice is being exercised not to wear hijab, should the persons, this women specifically, in the Muslim community be killed? That's the question. Hopefully those liberals would answer. Moving on for now, more and more details coming out of the Bondi Beach massacre. The attacker had killed a 10-year-old child who happens to be the youngest victim of the tragedy, Matilda, a 10-year-old, and her parents or grandparents now, and aunt and others. They visited this spot and carried out a vigil at the site. Here are the details.
Out of a window, and I just was like, where's my family? And they were running up behind me. And I could just hear the gunshots, and they're just so loud. And we didn't know which way that they were shooting, so we were like running on the open road. And they just like images are just like flashing. I'm like, I just need to get my family safe, so we're just running with heaps of people.
Everywhere where there is a Jewish community or a single Jew around the world, when they chant to kill all the Jews, doesn't matter the words that they're using. If this is what they're chanting, it's a wake-up call, and we have to be there to fight against it and to make sure that never again does not stand as an empty call. It's a reality. Never again in Sydney, never again in Gaza, never again for the Jewish people wherever they are.
What happened on 14th December 2025 at Sydney's Bondi Beach serves as a major wake-up call to the entire world regarding the crimes being carried out against the Jewish community out of anti-Semitic feelings. When a 10-year-old innocent girl, Matilda, dies, it poses a major question for humanity.
And her name Matilda was, I named her Matilda because she was our first Australian. We came here from Ukraine, and Matilda was my first born in Australia, and I thought that Matilda is the most Australian name that can ever exist. So just remember the name, remember her.
On 14th December 2025, more children like Matilda could have died if it had not been for the hero of that day, Ahmed Al-Ahmed. The man bravely tackled and disarmed one of the terrorists. However, he was shot twice by the other terrorist who was on the bridge. Ahmed really did a heroic job. Without any hesitation, he tackled the terrorist and disarmed him just to save innocent people. We are very proud of our cousin's work. Muslims are not terrorists. It is not only Ahmed, but all Muslims, if they see this terrorist act, they will not hesitate to save innocent people, regardless of their religion, ethnicity, and we are very proud of the act of Ahmed.
Right, a vaping scandal has hit the TMC with the BJP releasing a video, a short clip of Trinamool MP Kirti Azad inside the house vaping. That's the story coming up on the other side.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
प्लीज स्टॉप। झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा। तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
मसाला।
There are questions over Nitish Kumar's erratic behavior. Is there a problem that Nitish and his government are hiding? A question only Arnab asks at 8:30 p.m. tonight.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्लीज स्टॉप। झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा। तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर।
Shocking case of triple murder in UP. Shamli man murders wife and daughters for not wearing hijab. Uproar over Shamli triple murder. Republic questions why top Muslim leaders and intellectuals are silent now. Controversy over BJP MLA's obscene display of wealth during son's wedding. The Madhya Pradesh legislator maintains defiance. Vaping scandal hits TMC. BJP puts out video of the Trinamool MP Kirti Azad smoking inside the house. Maharashtra Minister Manik Rao Kokate faces arrest over flat scam of 1995.
जो 10 साल की बर्बादी जिनकी हम झेल रहे हैं, जिनका हर दिन पोल्यूशन आज के साल के मुकाबले ज्यादा रहता रहा, जो मैंने अभी भी आंकड़े बताए कि अगले हफ्ते क्या होने वाला है, ये पिछले आंकड़ों से देखकर बताया। हमारे समय पे ऐसा नहीं हो, इसके लिए हम यत्नशील हैं।
Air emergency in Delhi, but BJP blames earlier AAP government for deteriorating air quality. Well, that's Prime Minister hailing Paramveer Gallery inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It was dedicated to the nation by the President Draupadi Murmu a while back, paying tribute to the country's bravest heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice for Mother India. Prime Minister now in a post coming out, and I quote, in the Paramveer Gallery of Rashtrapati Bhavan, these portraits of the country's indomitable heroes are a heartfelt tribute to our nation's defenders, those heroes who protected the motherland with their supreme sacrifices, gave their life for the unity and integrity of India. The nation has expressed its gratitude to them in yet another form, dedicating this gallery to the country and its Paramveers in the dignified presence of the families of the two Paramveer Chakra winners and the other awardees makes it even more special. That's Prime Minister's post after President Draupadi Murmu inaugurated the gallery, and this also takes away last of the vestiges of the colonial era where the Victoria Cross awardees were earlier present. All right, India's Navy Chief Admiral Dwivedi was speaking at the dedication ceremony or commissioning ceremony of a new squadron of MH-60R Seahawk helicopters. And that's where he said that while this would significantly boost maritime strike and submarine hunting capabilities, remember and do not forget, Operation Sindoor is still on. Listen in.
We are very happy that this squadron has been commissioned today. This will obviously add great value to the combat readiness of our surface platforms at sea, because it will enhance their anti-submarine warfare capability, anti-surface warfare capability, maritime domain awareness capability, and also they will be a deterrent to any platforms, especially the surface and subsurface platforms of our adversary. So we are looking with great interest and with great pride when they embark our fleet units at sea. You know that Operation Sindoor is still on, and therefore any operational details about performance of platforms etc. is not in order. Suffice it to say that they were embarked on our units and they did what they are supposed to do.
It's an all-out blame game over pollution in the national capital. Delhi Environment Minister Mahinder Singh Sirsa has apologized to the people of the national capital for the severe air pollution, stating it is impossible to clean up the air in just 9 or 10 months, the time that the BJP has been in power. He blamed the previous AAP government instead for the disease of pollution and claimed the BJP government is working hard to fix the issue.
Mr. Sirsa, what do you have to say? People are now voting for Nota over Aqua. Any response?
अभी हम पीसी करके आए ना, अभी पीसी तो करके
The experts are warning that 10 months would have been sufficient for the government to solve this issue.
क्या तरीका है?
ये आप ऐसे क्यों
response to the situation?
कैसे करके आए सबके साथ बाइट ना, आपने सुना सब कुछ, फिर आप
You're saying it's impossible to solve the problem within 9 to 10 months.
कर रहे हैं आप ऐसा?
What is your response?
ना आप ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपको इनको एक एक को हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोले हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना? सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर। अच्छा नहीं समझा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं। अब आप बताइए।
You said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that. You apologize. How do you see this? Do you think people would vote for this after what you have said, that it's impossible? It's impossible to solve this issue. Any response to that, sir? Because the situation is worsening.
Please, आप अपना क्वेश्चन तो बताएं।
My questioning, you have apologized that it's impossible to solve this AQI issue. Experts are saying that this could have been if the government had the wheel. Do you think the government has failed?
Who is expert that told you? Can you name that expert? So we can at least have a conversation with them and find out. I think it is not I said it's impossible. I must again reiterate, it's impossible for any government, for any purpose. If it was been possible, then why it took 10 years for Aam Aadmi Party?
So how many years maybe? What many years?
Please let me answer your question, please. It is not about the years. It are the what steps are taken. We have to completely go with the fossil fuel vehicles. You should adopt EV vehicles, which we are doing. You need to have an end-to-end carpeting of roads, so there should be no dust. You need to remove that all dumps of legacy waste, which we are otherwise doing. So these are few changes which we have to bring in, and it will bring change in the pollution.
People are voting for Nota over AQI. To that.
मैंने अभी आपके इंटरव्यू दी थी ना, पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी, इस पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी ना आपने। तो मैंने आपको पूरी इंटरव्यू दे के आया हूँ।
How do you see people? People are suffering from respiratory problems, lot of problems, asthma. How do you see that?
No, it's a big problem we are facing.
You've shifted the blame.
No, I'm not shifted the blame. No.
The government and the federal
Aam Aadmi Party was here for 10 years. I think you must go and into Arvind Kejriwal ji for that why they haven't done it in 10 years. If they're expecting to be done in 7-8 months, they should have done it in 10 years.
So what's next then?
We are working on it. We'll let you know again.
All right, because the AAP did not do anything on this, they were voted out, but the BJP now wants more time. Meanwhile, the Congress has waded into the row, of course, in defense of its ally or former ally.
मैम, दिल्ली में जिस तरीके से प्रदूषण की स्थिति है, दिल्ली सरकार में मंत्री मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा माफी मांग रहे हैं।
और क्या करेगा बेचारा, यही तो करेगा, इनके पास और कोई इलाज है भी नहीं। उनके अनफॉर्चुनेटली उनके माफी मांगने से हमारी सेहत ठीक नहीं होती है। हमें कॉन्क्रीट कदम उठाना है। क्या करें आज? और जरा कंफ्यूजन शुरू कर दिए, कह दिए कि ग्राफ 4 आ गई तो ये गाड़ी नहीं चलेगी, वो गाड़ी नहीं चलेगी। आप जानते हैं कितने परेशानी फैला दी है राजधानी में। लोग गाड़ियों का हालात आप जाके देख लीजिए, बॉर्डर्स पे और पेट्रोल स्टेशन में क्या हंगामा मचा हुआ है। क्या बात कर रहे हैं? ये सीजन सेशन 2-3 दिन में खत्म हो जाएगी, ये मुद्दा भी बैठ जाएगी। लोग जिनको मजबूरी में यहाँ रहना पड़ता है, उनका हालात क्या करेंगे? आप कोई सब्सिडी दे रहे हैं यहाँ रहने के लिए, क्या करना चाह रहे हैं? अरे कुछ परमानेंट इलाज निकालिए, बुलाइए इंटरनेशनल एक्सपर्ट्स, इसमें शर्म की कोई बात नहीं। हमारे पास तजुर्बा नहीं है तो दूसरों से हमें लेना चाहिए। उन लोग को बुला लीजिए, पूछिए, कदम कदम पे उठाइए, सिटीजन्स को इन्फॉर्म करिए, टीवी से बयान दीजिए कि क्या कदम उठाना, कैसा करना है। ये कुछ करते नहीं, तजुर्बा नहीं, कुछ नहीं। अब सॉरी से क्या होगा भाई? सॉरी कहने पे कोई जीएसटी लागू नहीं है, जो मर्जी सॉरी बोले।
कह रहे 8 महीने में सब कुछ नहीं हो सकता, अभी तो हमारे सत्ता में।
अच्छा भैया, 8 महीने में नहीं हो सकता है। आप केंद्र सरकार से आपका संबंध है ना, तो सरकार 11 साल से बैठी है, वो क्या कर रहे हैं? हर साल पे यही होता है पोल्यूशन। विंटर में जाके किसानों पे लाद दिए, फिर आप बोल दिए दिवाली के पटाखे से होते हैं, 2 दिन दिवाली के पटाखे से AQI ऐसी बढ़ गई। तो आज क्या चल रहा है? कौन से पटाखे चल रहे हैं? कौन सा किसान जला रहा है कि आप ये इल्जाम उन पे लगाए? आपने कुछ किया नहीं।
इंसान के साथ साथ जो जानवर है उन्हें भी दिक्कतें हो रही है, कह रहे हैं।
ऑफ कोर्स, मेरे घर में कुत्ते भी खांस रहे हैं, मैं बता रही हूँ। उनकी भी पोल्यूशन होती है, उनकी भी फेफड़े होते हैं। जानवरों का ये हालात, स्पोर्ट्समैन का सोच लीजिए, वो बाहर कमरे से नहीं निकल पा रहे, कहीं रनिंग नहीं कर सकते, कहीं फिटनेस की एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर सक रहे, क्योंकि तुम करोगे तो लंबा सांस लोगे और वो और फेफड़े को नुकसान उठाती है।
आप तो कह रहे थे अपने बच्चों को दूसरी जगह भेजने।
हाँ, मैंने भिजवा दी भाई, मुंबई में मैं शिफ्ट कर रही हूँ। कल सारा सामान ट्रक चली गई मुंबई को, आज शाम को मेरा पोता भी चले जाएगा वहां, क्योंकि अगर उसको यहाँ रखूंगी तो मुझे डर है, वो 11 साल का बच्चा है, आगे जाके क्या बनेगा अगर उनकी फेफड़े डैमेज हो जाएंगे। चलो मेरे पास तो ये सहूलत है, आम जनता की।
दिल्ली सरकार के मंत्री मनजिंदर सिंह सिरसा माफी मांग रहे पोल्यूशन को लेकर।
देखिए, माफी मांगने का तो इन लोगों का जो भी ढोंग है, बात तो ये है कि आपने प्रयास क्या किए प्रदूषण को कम करने के लिए। केंद्र सरकार की क्या चिंता है, राज्य सरकार की क्या चिंता है, एमसीडी ने क्या कदम उठाए, हरियाणा की सरकार ने क्या कदम उठाए, उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार ने क्या, इस पे मूल्यांकन कीजिए ना। हम बता सकते हैं कि 90% पराली जलाने की घटनाओं में पंजाब में कमी आई है, और ये कमी भगवंत मान जी की सरकार की बदौलत और हम लोगों के प्रयास की बदौलत हुई है। तो आप बैठ के आंकड़ों सहित ये बताइए कि आपने दिल्ली का प्रदूषण कम करने के लिए AQI मीटर पे पानी छिड़कने के अलावा क्या क्या किया है। दुनिया का सबसे ज्यादा प्रदूषित शहर दिल्ली है, ये बीजेपी की उपलब्धि है। अच्छा, पहले भी केजरीवाल जी की सरकार दिल्ली में थी ना, बाकी राज्यों में किसकी सरकार थी? इन्हीं भाजपा के लोगों की सरकार थी, तब भी कुछ नहीं किया। केंद्र में किसकी सरकार थी? तब भी भाजपा की सरकार थी, कुछ नहीं किया।
ये सांकेतिक मास्क है, ये विंटर सेशन के पहले दिन मैंने पहन के मैं आया था, और तब मैंने कहा था कि मैं इसलिए पहन के आया हूँ कि देश की सरकार का वायु प्रदूषण की तरफ ध्यान आकर्षित हो और यहाँ पे सदन में चर्चा हो और कोई ठोस प्लान देश के सामने पेश सरकार की तरफ से किया जाए। लेकिन सरकार ने उस मांग को नकार दिया और पूरा विंटर सेशन समाप्ति पे है। सरकार ने 1 मिनट की भी वायु प्रदूषण पे चर्चा नहीं कराई।
लेकिन दिल्ली सरकार के मंत्री ने तो माफी मांग ली ना कि प्रदूषण को लेकर इंतजाम नहीं कर पा रहे।
देखिए, वो माफी मांगी लेकिन गलत मांगी, क्योंकि ये इनका विषय है ही नहीं, ये केंद्र सरकार का विषय है और सारे प्रदेशों को साथ लेके इसका समाधान पॉसिबल है। ये केवल दिल्ली सरकार का विषय नहीं, 12 साल से इनकी केंद्र में सरकार है, उसकी माफी मांगे। केंद्र सरकार सारे, इसका प्रधानमंत्री जी जिम्मेदारी ले, पर्यावरण मंत्री जी जिम्मेदारी ले, सारे मुख्यमंत्रियों को बुलाया जाए और बैठ के कोई ठोस प्लान निकाला जाए। आज दुर्भाग्य की बात यह है कि सदन के अंदर डिस्कशन होना चाहिए था और एक ठोस प्लान देश के सामने रखना चाहिए था संसद द्वारा, लेकिन केंद्र सरकार ने कहा कि हम इस वायु प्रदूषण पे चर्चा ही नहीं कराएंगे, नकार दी हमारी जो मांग थी। मैंने भी एक डिस्कशन के लिए जो नोटिस लगाया था उसको नकारने का कार्य किया। आज देश की जनता तो स्टेडियमों में AQI चिल्ला रही है, आप सदन के अंदर बीजेपी चिल्ला रहे हैं। अगर देश के वायु प्रदूषण की समस्या पे चर्चा हम देश की संसद में नहीं करेंगे तो क्या डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के सेनेट में जाके करेंगे? ये किस लिए है संसद?
लेकिन योगेंद्र,
संसद किस लिए बनी है? क्या बीजेपी की वाई के लिए संसद बनी है? देश की समस्याओं के पे चर्चा करने के लिए बनी है। अच्छी चर्चा कराइए, कोई ठोस समाधान बताइए और समाधान का हम भी साथ देंगे।
सदन में साथी आपके योगेंद्र चंदोलिया अभी आपके ऊपर किस तरीके से निशाना साध रहे थे, देखा ही आप।
वो मेरे पे निशाना ना साधें, मुझे निशाना ना बनाए, वो वायु प्रदूषण को निशाना बनाए। मैं जो भाजपा के जो सांसद है आदरणीय, उनको कहूंगा कि वो सम्मानित साथी है मेरे, मुझ पे निशाना साध क्या मिलेगा? वो वायु प्रदूषण को निशाना बनाए। ये
सरकार तो काम कर रही है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से मजाक उड़ाया जा रहा, इस तरीके से ढोंग रचा जा रहा प्रदूषण को लेकर, ठीक नहीं है।
ये हम बात उठा रहे हैं, हमारी बात हम अगर आज आप संसद के बाहर चर्चा करा रहे हैं चंदोलिया जी की, हमारी अंदर क्यों नहीं हो सकती? क्या वायु प्रदूषण पे चर्चा वर्जित है अंदर?
आपने मांग भी की थी आज।
देखिए, मैंने मांग करी।
All right, moving on from Delhi on to Madhya Pradesh, where a wedding that lit up the skies and has ignited a divot. Viral videos from Indore show an opulent celebration for the wedding of the son of BJP MLA Golu Shukla, complete with grand decor, a religious spectacle and fireworks reportedly worth 70 lakh rupees. But it wasn't just the scale of the celebration that drew attention, it was also the privilege on display, with visuals emerging from a restricted area of a temple close to ordinary devotees since the COVID pandemic, and the MLA remains completely defiant. Okay, so these are pictures of the fireworks in the backdrop, and you look at the backdrop, this is a temple for which no people have access to this temple post-COVID. These are 70 lakh rupees up in smoke in just about 10 minutes. That's the vulgar display of wealth that has gone into the pictures that you are seeing. This is a public representative, a public, an MLA, a people's representative, and showing this kind of wealth. Even if you have the money, the question is, do you indulge in this kind of vulgar display? We asked that question of Golu Shukla. He brazened it out, and then he said, ask the ladki walas. Look at him.
हमारे साथ बीजेपी विधायक गोलू शुक्ला हैं। गोलू जी, आपके बेटे की शादी काफी चर्चाओं में है।
शादी करना कोई गुनाह है क्या? शादी करी है, अच्छे से शादी करी है। बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई, लड़की वालों ने अच्छा से स्वागत करा, सब कुछ अच्छे से हुआ, तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है?
मैं ये बताया यार, 70 लाख की सिर्फ आतिशबाजी हो गई। एक
रसीद है क्या?
रसीद नहीं है, लेकिन जो
लिखा हुआ है, अब आंकड़ा 70 करोड़ का लगा तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो लड़की वालों की कार्यक्रम था, बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई थी, वो भी मीडिया समूह से ही है, डिजियाना से, आप उनसे बात करो।
एक तरफ बात होती प्रदूषण की, AQI लेवल की, दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख की आतिशबाजी हो जाए।
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, बारात लेके हम गए थे, हम तो वहाँ क्या क्या हुआ ये उनसे पूछो आप।
लेकिन आपके मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह करते हैं, सामूहिक विवाह में बेटे की शादी करते हैं, और आप इतनी ज्यादा जो आपने।
मैं भी 50 जोड़ों का सामूहिक विवाह करता हूँ, 51 जोड़ों का अभी फरवरी में सामूहिक विवाह है गरीब बच्चों का, और बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से करता हूँ। आप भी उसमें आमंत्रित।
एक और वीडियो वायरल हो रहा है, खजराना गणेश मंदिर का, गर्भगृह में जाकर वरमाला किया, ये भी नियम विरुद्ध बताया जा रहा है।
हजारों लोग गणेश जी के दर्शन करने जाते हैं। आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक खजराना गणेश मंदिर में रहें तो आपको दिख जाएगा कि सैकड़ों लोग वहाँ दर्शन करते हैं।
आपको कुछ गलती नहीं लग रही? इतना पैसा बर्बाद करना, इतनी आतिशबाजी इतनी ज्यादा करना, फिजूल खर्ची करना, आपको ये फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाइए। फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही?
एक मिनट आराम से, इस तरीके भैया, सैकड़ों लोग दर्शन करने जाते हैं भगवान के, और हमारे परिवार के बच्चे भी दर्शन करने गए थे, उनने अच्छे से दर्शन करे और भगवान का आशीर्वाद लिया। आप एक बार गणेश जी के मंदिर में जाके देखें, सैकड़ों लोग गर्भगृह में दर्शन करते हैं।
लेकिन ये हो रहा है कि इतना पैसा खर्च करना, एक तरफ गरीबों के पास पैसा नहीं, दूसरे इतनी आतिशबाजी, इतनी जश्न और
अब भैया मेरे को मेरे काम से थोड़ा निकल जाने दो।
All right, absolutely no regrets there in Golu Shukla, the MLA, with the kind of display of wealth. This temple, if you go to this Khajarana Ganesh temple in Indore, you have to, pray to the deity from a distance. And you saw in the pictures the boy and the girl, the bride, they were seen right there next to the deity in the pictures. And a certain restricted part of the temple was requisitioned, and the MLA family there arranging this fireworks display. This itself needs a certain special access. 7 million rupees in smoke, 70 lakh rupees, 50 crore wedding. You have it, you flaunt it. That seems to be the message. Moving on, now an update. In the Goa Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub fire tragedy. Today, the prime accused, the Luthra brothers, who were brought to India from Thailand yesterday and were given a transit remand to the Goa police by Patiala House Court. They were flown to Goa for questioning after being brought back. Here's the latest on what's the update in the investigation in the fire tragedy.
Luthra brothers landing in Goa, where 25 people were killed in a deadly night fire in their nightclub Birch by Romeo Lane. Goa police flew key accused Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra from Delhi to Goa for questioning. The brothers, owners of the nightclub, are in Goa police custody.
We are standing at the international airport of Goa in Mapsa, and let me show you, there's this gate number 5 from where they'll be coming out anytime soon. They are expected, they'll come out, they'll escorted by the team who was present in Delhi to take their custody, including senior IPS officer, sub-inspector, inspector and Havaldars. And initially we're getting the information right now from the ground that they'll be taken for medical testing to Azilo, that is the district hospital in Mapsa, and then they'll be taken to Anjuna police station, wherein this entire case has been registered. We all know that under the sections of 105, 125 and 287, that is culpable homicide. On the other hand, endangering lives and inappropriate use of fire or combustible matters. All these sections of BNS are registered in the FIR in the name of alleged perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy.
The brothers were brought back to India yesterday after being deported from Thailand. The move to Goa followed a Delhi court granting Goa police a 2-day transit remand, allowing the accused to be brought from Delhi to Goa to assist the investigation. After landing in Goa, the brothers were interrogated by Goa police at the Anjuna police station, where investigators collected statements and examining evidence linked to the blaze. They were produced before a court in Mapusa as part of routine remand proceedings. Goa police sought extended custody and further remand to deepen their probe and gather evidence.
गोवा आप आ चुके हैं, गोवा आए आप, गोवा लेकर आए आपको, जान गई है, आके आप जिम्मेदारी लेंगे क्या? गौरव मित्रा, आप आए यहाँ पर, क्या आप जिम्मेदारी लेंगे क्या?
ट्रेड लाइसेंस 2 दिनों में मिला था,
फायर का एनओसी नहीं था,
2 दिनों में ट्रेड लाइसेंस मिला था, 22 स्टेट सर.
दूसरा कुछ कहना चाहेंगे आप?
A first information report has been registered against the Luthra brothers under sections including culpable homicide not amounting to murder, negligence and violations of fire safety norms under the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. The FIR says the nightclub operated without proper safety measures, contributing to the scale of the tragedy. On 6th of December, a massive blaze tore through the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Arpora, North Goa, killing 25 people and injuring dozens during a dance event. The fire spread rapidly, overwhelming rescue efforts and raising questions about fire safety compliance. The brothers fled to Thailand hours after the fire, prompting police to issue lookout notices and an Interpol alert before their detention and deportation. With the prime accused now in Goa and facing serious charges, including culpable homicide and negligence, the investigation enters a decisive phase as authorities seek to establish accountability for one of the state's deadliest fire tragedies.
Opposition MPs staged protests in Parliament premises over National Herald case and demanded Prime Minister Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah's resignation after a Delhi court refused to take cognizance of the ED's money laundering charge sheet against Congress MPs Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his Deputy CM D.K. Shivkumar joined Congress protests against the centre's decision to rename Manrega scheme. Congress party also called for a nationwide protest against the centre's move. In Gujarat, 3 people died and 1 was injured after a car lost control and rammed into a tree. The emergency team rescued 4. 1 survivor has been sent to the civil hospital in Amreli district where the mishap happened, while the bodies of the other 3 have been handed over to their relatives after the post-mortem. Alright, Prime Minister is reaching Oman on his 3-nation tour, but completing the second leg in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, where he was given the highest civilian honor of the nation, as also serenaded by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, from the landing in the country to taking him to the National Museum, and then of course giving him a send-off back at the airport.
A rousing welcome as Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a joint session of the Ethiopian Parliament, becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. This was the 18th Parliament worldwide that Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed. In his historic address, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the deep cultural and civilizational ties between India and Ethiopia. Describing Ethiopia as the land of lions, he drew a personal parallel with his home state Gujarat, saying he felt very much at home in the African nation.
It is a moment of a great privilege for me to stand before you today. It is wonderful to be here in Ethiopia, the land of lions. I feel very much at home because my home state Gujarat in India is also home to lions. I'm honored to be here in this temple of democracy, in the heart of a nation with ancient wisdom and modern aspirations.
Prime Minister Modi also underlined India and Ethiopia's shared democratic values and called for a future built on synergy and the spirit of a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
A beginning that belongs to all of us, whether we live in Addis Ababa or in Ayodhya. In India, we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. It reminds us that beyond politics, beyond borders, beyond differences, we share a common origin.
The address comes at the end of a high-impact state visit aimed at deepening India-Ethiopia ties across political, economic and strategic domains. Earlier on his arrival in Addis Ababa, PM Modi was personally received at the airport by Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali. The Prime Minister was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the National Palace, reflecting the growing importance of bilateral relations. During delegation level
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप प्लीज स्टॉप झुमका तेरा झुमका
नॉट देयर मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा
तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी व्हाट आर यू डूइंग
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध MDH गरम मसाला
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया सफेद चने या काले चने
सब कुछ मजेदार बने
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाह क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
XTR is the most advanced helicopter which is present with Indian Navy. It's an all-weather aircraft which can operate.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good evening, viewers. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 and I'm Rakhta Mishra. We'll start with the big story that we're tracking for you, viewers. How there are unending insults to our forces by the unapologetic Congress. The Congress party shamelessly stands by the insulting statement of Prithviraj Chavan. There is complicit silence by the party leaders as well. On the other hand, the Congress might continue to mislead the country over Operation Sindoor and insult our heroes. But at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the brave hearts of our soil have found their rightful place in history. It's the biggest colonial purge, ladies and gentlemen. We'll tell you about the Paramveer Dirgha at the Raisina Hill. Meanwhile, we bring you the story from Uttar Pradesh's Shamli, where a triple murder case has come to light. This murder has taken place in a family over hijab, and this has shocked the nation. Republic also questions the Environment Minister of Delhi over the soaring AQI. And also on the show, we give you the update on the trial that is being faced by the trial of the Luthra brothers over the Goa fire tragedy. And finally, we also give you a lowdown of the Prime Minister's Ethiopia visit. Let's start without wasting any time, viewers. The top story, a time when the country is saluting the courage and the sacrifice of our armed forces. Questions are once again being raised by none other than the Congress party. Now, this time the remarks have come from senior Congress leader and former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan, who today continues to defend his statement. In fact, said that he has the right to question and that there is no question of apology.
When the nation stood behind their soldiers in unity, Congress chose doubt over duty. Once again, questions are being raised, but this time not on the enemy, but on the success of the Indian Army during Operation Sindoor. Another senior Congress leader, Prithviraj Chavan, pointing fingers at the valor of our Indian Army. When asked for an apology, the Congress leader justified his statement.
पहिल्या दिवशी आपला संपूर्ण पराभव झाला. 7 तारखेला जे हवाई युद्ध अर्ध्या तासात झालं त्यामध्ये आपला टोटल पराभव झाला. हे कोणी मान्य करो अगर न करो. आणि त्यामुळे त्या दिवशी भारताची जी विमानं पडली त्या दिवशी सगळा भारताचा एअरफोर्स हा ग्राउंड झाला आणि त्यानंतर एकही विमान उडलं नाही. पण कुठेही विमान उडलं की पाकिस्तानचं तुमचं विमान ग्वाल्हेर असेल किंवा भटिंडा असेल किंवा सिरसा असेल तिथं वाढायची शक्यता असल्यामुळं आपलं कंप्लीट एअरफोर्स ग्राउंड झालं.
मैं बाद में आराम से बात करूंगा. अभी
आराम से बात करेंगे. तो आपको ये जो बयान है उस पर आप माफी मांग रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल सवाल नहीं उठता. बिल्कुल सवाल नहीं उठता.
हाँ जी सर.
नहीं सवाल नहीं उठता.
सवाल
मैं बात करूंगा ना डिटेल में.
माफी मांगने का सवाल
माफी कहाँ मांगू.
लेकिन आपके हिसाब से स्टेटमेंट गलत था क्या सर?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
लोग मीडिया में वही सब जगह ऐसे ही चला कि अपमान हुआ है.
मैं करूंगा डिटेल बात करूंगा.
जी.
विल टॉक टू मीडिया प्रॉपर्ली.
सो आर यू अपोलोजाइजिंग राइट नाउ?
आउट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन.
ओके.
माय राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस. अभी ये मत लो यार.
अच्छा ठीक.
बिल्कुल मेरा राइट है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गिव्स मी राइट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस.
The Congress meanwhile openly siding with their leader.
प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री रहे, महाराष्ट्र के केंद्रीय मंत्री रहे, मैंने उनका ऐसा कोई बयान नहीं सुना है. और जब तक मैं उनसे सुन न लूं मैं उस पर कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं दूंगा। मैं सिर्फ इतना कहूंगा, मैं भारत की सेना का पराक्रम का पूरा देश ऋणी है।
Chauhan not only insulted the army but also the victims of terrorism.
See, first of all, he need to apologize, because I am again saying it is not about any political party. It is about Indian Army. Second of all, when he comes up and says that we do not need defense system, then he should understand that if he's sleeping at his house properly, if he's at his home, if his family is safe, it is all because of the Indian Army. It is all because of the defense system.
The distasteful remark has triggered condemnation from several leaders. Union Minister Giriraj Singh says, no one has the right to insult the valor of the armed forces. Those who do so can never think of the nation's interest. It has become Congress's habit to insult the armed forces.
सेना के शौर्य पर किसी को गाली देने का अधिकार नहीं है। जो लोग सेना के शौर्य को अपमानित करते हैं वो कभी देश हित की बात सोच ही नहीं सकते।
BJP also called Chauhan a Pakistani spokesperson.
Prithviraj Chauhan, a former chief minister and a senior Congress leader, has ranted like a third-rate Pakistani spokesperson, deliberately maligning our armed forces, calling our armed forces to be disbanded on Vijay Divas. This is a deliberate insult, maligning our armed forces. Shame on the Congress party. And why has Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi not condemned and initiated action against Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan?
As Congress continues to raise questions, the backlash only grows louder from leaders and from families fallen victim to terrorism. For many, doubting Operation Sindoor isn't just politics, it's an insult to...
Breaking news coming in right now, viewers. These are scenes coming in from outside the Indian Embassy in Dhaka, where some protests broke out and they were targeting the Indian Embassy, a Bangladeshi group targeting the Indian Embassy in Dhaka. They were marching towards the Indian Embassy. Remember, in fact, New Delhi has also had summoned the Bangladeshi envoy today. And at the same time, we see that Bangladeshi group targeting Indian Embassy. They were stopped on their way, in fact, but the fact that they were taking up this march to target the Indian Embassy. Visuals just coming in on your screens in a few moments from now. India, remember, today summoned Bangladesh High Commissioner after the Seven Sisters remark, and now you have this visual. There you can see this whole group. Apart from those who are recording this, you also see some police personnel as well in the frame. And these barricades they are attempting to breach the barricades also because there's heavy security deployment. As today, remember, India had summoned Bangladesh High Commissioner after the Seven Sisters remark and by NCP, Bangladesh party leader Hasnat Abdullah's anti-India remark. And now we see, on the other hand, this anti-India movement in Dhaka is only picking up a momentum with this kind of a march that is being taken out. Even young people, we see almost teenagers there, or I don't know, they are students or many people who are part of this group. Shavan Sen joins us on the broadcast. Shavan, tell us more about this march that was taken out and this protest, this group that was heading towards the Indian Embassy.
Well, in fact, the reports that we have right now, this protest started roughly around 3:30 this afternoon, and the protest march was towards the Indian Embassy. The demand that they have made is with regards to the extradition of Sheikh Hasina. In fact, Mohammad Yunus's administration has already made an official request to India with regards to extradition of Sheikh Hasina. It seems that attempts were basically made to break the barricades and move towards the Indian Embassy. We're also trying to get an official confirmation coming in from the Indian Embassy with regards to whether at all some security breach has actually taken place or not. But it seems that the matter escalated a little after 4 o'clock when the barricades were broken. This actually happened in front of Hussain Market in Badda, which is where the Indian Embassy is. Now, at the spot, what we are being told that people of July Unity, they took a position at Pragati Sarani, and where the long march could not proceed, that's where they were essentially stopped. But the plan was basically to carry out these protests outside the Indian Embassy. And in fact, this comes on a day when you've already had the Bangladesh High Commissioner who was summoned by the Ministry of External Affairs following several comments that have been made by Bangladeshi political leaders over the last few days, particularly targeting the northeastern states. And that is something that the Ministry of External Affairs has taken a strong objection about, a message that has already been sent across to the Bangladeshi envoy here in the national capital. But remember, this is not the first time that we are looking at some protests taking place at the Indian Embassy in Dhaka, particularly after Sheikh Hasina was here. In fact, with Sheikh Hasina in the national capital, India has made its position very clear as far as Sheikh Hasina's presence here. And in fact, this is a decision that would be taken purely by Sheikh Hasina, whether at all she basically returns to Dhaka or not. Time and again, Sheikh Hasina, while speaking to Awami League leaders, have already made her intentions very clear that she would want to return when it is conducive, because given the fact that she faces multiple death threats also. So these are important aspects that ought to be highlighted right now, given the fact that these are essentially at a time when the protests have only intensified.
It's a long march. It's called the Long March, and it is, we've seen, Shravan, that how radical extremists have, time and again taken over the streets of Dhaka ever since Hasina's government has been toppled. And now we see that the anti-India sentiments are being also stoked time and again. And there's no end to it. And this is what we see, how Indian diplomats have also been threatened so many times. The security has also been now finally increased, as we see even the barricades have been put up en route the embassy. There's an entire movement and propaganda that is picking up steam, especially amongst the youth. Youth is being mobilized in Bangladesh to fan the anti-India sentiment.
Very little has been done by the Yunus administration to put an end to this. In fact, all attempts have largely been made to fan anti-India sentiments in Dhaka. As far as Sheikh Hasina is concerned, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, remember, India has made it very clear. It is the prerogative of the leader whether at all she wants to return or not, given the fact that there is a danger to her life. More importantly, the Awami League has been banned from participating in the upcoming elections, and that is the reason why Sheikh Hasina has maintained that this is a witch hunt that has been carried out against her. And more importantly, a fair trial wasn't even conducted in Bangladesh. And that is the reason why, remember, she has said that if at all Yunus government wants to contest this, the Yunus government should be taking this entire matter to an international court where an arbitration should be taking place. Today, what you are essentially seeing is that yet another time that Yunus administration has completely failed to ensure that there is law and order in Dhaka. Now you have youths, multiple groups now basically protesting outside the Indian embassy, where you're largely looking at the embassy being targeted by these groups where they're demanding that the extradition of Sheikh Hasina should take place without even giving any fair trial to the former Prime Minister.
Right, Shravan. In fact, today, when the envoy was summoned, the Bangladesh High Commissioner was summoned over Hasna Abdullah's Seven Sisters remark. If you're picking up anything from the ministry, what was really communicated to him today?
Well, in fact, we've just got some more details with regards to what the Ministry of External Affairs had to say. In fact, I'm going to just take you through some of the details. Now, a strong objection on what really has happened. Now, strong objection, when I say it, is with regards to the conduct of several of these leaders who were present there, number one. Number two, what is important to point out here is that these are leaders who have time and again tried to incite violence, particularly threatening that the northeastern states would be cut off. These are the threats that have been issued by some prominent political leaders in Bangladesh to begin with. The second important point here is that very little has been done to actually make a stop, to make an end to these kind of statements that are being made. And this is exactly what the Ministry of External Affairs had to convey to the Bangladeshi envoy who was summoned earlier today. But these images that are now basically coming in from the streets of Dhaka clearly goes on to indicate that very little has been done to bring the situation under control.
Absolutely. That's the big update we are getting in right now from Dhaka. These are scenes from outside the Indian embassy as the anti-India sentiments continue to be fueled by the radicalists. We see how the youngsters are being mobilized and they are being pushed towards this anti-India hatred propaganda marches. They were attempting to lay siege to the Indian embassy in Dhaka. And there's unrest once again in Dhaka for the past 1 year, more than a year, in fact, that we are witnessing such instability in Dhaka. And there has been nothing, as Shravan was pointing out, there's little been done to, in fact, contain this situation. And the fueling of such targeting of India, targeting Indian properties or even people or Hindus for that matter. What's been happening in Dhaka is fully on display today. Once again, Indian embassy in Dhaka being targeted today. And this comes on a day when the High Commissioner of Bangladesh is summoned for the one of our political party leaders' remarks on severing Seven Sisters, these northeastern states from India. Such threats have been issued by leaders. Radicalization is at its peak in Bangladesh. You see, these young children are jumping on the barricades. What is happening? Absolute breakdown of law and order in Dhaka, and how the Indian embassy is being targeted. And this, of course, is a march that is now has been obstructed by the security personnel. Inflammatory, incendiary, anti-India comments have been made time and again. And now we see this is the long march. It's called the Long March to Indian High Commission in Badda, which police have now obstructed. The March to Indian High Commission program of July Oikea, demanding extradition of Sheikh Hasina and others. And remember, Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death, and she is not in. She had fled from Bangladesh after her government was toppled last year, as we saw what happened in Dhaka and other places in Bangladesh. Ambassador Veena Sikri is joining us on the broadcast. From Ms. Sikri, Ambassador Sikri, this is the state of affairs in Dhaka. Now they have radicalized groups, youngsters, children. They are all part of this group that was marching towards the embassy. The embassy in Dhaka, they attempted to even lay siege, and now they have been finally, thankfully, obstructed by the police. But what's really happening? How do you read the situation?
Well, you know, the Bangladesh interim regime, they have declared the dates for the election, and the Bangladesh interim regime is supported entirely by the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami is trying to come to power, but they are seeing that nobody is accepting an election which is without the Awami League. Everybody wants complete participation in the election. So, also there's been violence, like one of the National Citizens Party leader was shot at on a few days ago. But instead of tackling the law and order situation, instead of tackling what's happening within their own country, the interim regime only wants to blame India for everything. So immediately after that shooting incident on one of the political members of that party, immediately our High Commissioner was called in and told that, but India had nothing to do with it. We have explained repeatedly that we will never interfere in anything in Bangladesh. We will never allow Indian soil to be used by anybody against the interests of the Bangladesh people. We see our friendship as a people-to-people friendship. But instead of accepting that. Now today, even our government called in the High Commissioner of Bangladesh and explained very strongly to him, because it is unacceptable. You know, a march on the Indian High Commission, the security is the responsibility of the local government. And as you said, I'm glad that they have stopped it. But it's unacceptable that they should be marching like this on a friendly country like India. On what basis? There is no investigation, nothing. They just want to blame India for everything. And there is open talk in Bangladesh that they will blame India, and because of that they will probably call off the elections or something like that. I think it's a very difficult situation. And we are seeing also that the interim regime is unable to control the situation within their own country. They are calling up, they're talking repeatedly about the northeastern states of India. When Mohammad Yunus went to China, he was speaking to Chinese businessmen. He spoke about, as if Bangladesh controls the northeastern states of India. Completely unacceptable. And even now on the street and in their newspapers and in these specialized things, they're keeping on talking about the northeastern states. And even Asim Munir, as you know, the Pakistan leader who is trying his best to draw closer and closer to Bangladesh, go back to a pre-1971 situation. He also has said the next attack on India will come from the east. So I think it's a very dangerous situation that is being built up there. And I'm really surprised that the interim regime is not taking more serious action. I think the government of India did the right thing by calling in the High Commissioner, the Bangladesh High Commissioner, and explaining to him the situation. And I hope that now there will be a big change.
Ambassador Sikri, there's no end to what's been happening in Dhaka for the past 1 year or so, that the radicals continue to fuel these sentiments against India, against the Hindu minorities. And we see that there is no checks and balances. What we are seeing is that this situation is only going from bad to worse. And so much so that even the radical groups have been given legitimacy in the country, under the watch, right under the nose of Yunus.
Yes, but Mohammad Yunus is completely encouraging the radical group. Yep. He is being guided only by the Jamaat-e-Islami. Whatever Jamaat-e-Islami is happening, and the Jamaat-e-Islami leaders have openly talking about an Islamic state, about a caliphate in such situations. And the Jamaat-e-Islami does not even want their traditional partnership with the BNP. They want to only bring together the Islamist groups, and they are bringing together a coalition of Islamic groups like the Islami Andolan Bangladesh. Even the newly formed Students' Party is really all members of the Islami Chhatra Shibir. So by bringing together all these parties, they're signaling their intention to bring about an Islamic regime, an Islamist regime in Bangladesh. And they're whipping up the frenzy of the people in favor of this Islamic regime and against India. So the anti-Indian propaganda is a complete part of their roadmap for achieving what they want. And the banning of the Awami League from participation in the election, banning the activities of the Awami League and preventing them from participating in the election, is only to show that Awami League still maintains its vote bank. The people want a liberal, pluralistic, democratic structure in Bangladesh. They want secularism in Bangladesh, and they are not in favor of the Awami League being left out of the election. It doesn't mean that they will vote for Awami League or that Awami League will come to power. No, but they want a democratic structure wherein all political parties take part, and whoever the people vote for, those people will form the government. But instead of allowing that to happen, afraid of the Awami League's popularity, the regime has now cancelled the participation of the Awami League, and this has led to a lot of unrest because the people, the Awami League supporters, are there. Their vote bank is still there. They haven't moved to any other party. So it is a very dangerous situation, and India, I'm sure, is watching it very carefully. That we are taking our own steps to protect our interests. Sovereignty and territorial integrity. But at the same time, we are trying to tell the Bangladesh government regime again and again that they must respect democratic structures. They must understand that our friendship is with the people of Bangladesh. We want a friendly relationship with Bangladesh.
Ambassador Sikri, I apologize to interrupt you. We're getting in fresh visuals. And just see the slogans they're raising. Just look at this, viewers. Hear this out. right, so that is the long march to the Indian embassy. And there you had the sound up. You could hear there was sloganeering. They are jumping off the barricades. They're jumping off the barricades. And they're all young people. And we have Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us from the newsroom as well. Abhishek, well, you see that these are youngsters once again. These protests that Bangladesh has seen before, now they are targeting India. They have come very, very close to the Indian embassy in Dhaka. They are breaching barricades, vandalism, sloganeering. It's all going out there in full public display outside the Indian embassy.
Well, this was expected, and that's why the Bangladesh High Commissioner M. Riaz Hamidullah was summoned earlier in the morning to the South Block and issued a demarche that there are some threats being received by the Indian High Commission, that the Bangladesh authorities should be looking into it. We are now looking at these pictures which have panned out just in a couple of hours, and complete lawlessness there. Obviously orchestrated by the regime there, because it cannot happen without the protection and a wink coming in from the establishment that the law enforcement agencies stand by as these number of people and crowd gathers and carry out this kind of vandalism. So obviously what we are seeing is completely lawlessness, complete chaos in Dhaka, targeting Indian High Commission and the establishment. Remember, earlier in the day, the authorities at the High Commission decided to curtail the activities of the visa application center, suspecting that there might be unruly scenes and expecting that this kind of lawlessness might happen with the kind of announcements that were made, the threats that were being received. The High Commission, of course, the target of the long march. Remember, you cannot miss the irony of the word long march being used there, because these protesters want Sheikh Hasina to be sent back after a tribunal had given a death sentence and wants her back for war crimes in Bangladesh. That's what the Bangladesh authorities want from India, but to create this kind of pressure situation, to create this kind of lawlessness, and to create this kind of security threat for Indian High Commission is clearly in breach of Vienna Convention, and that's something we should be asking. Going back to Ambassador Veena Sikri, ma'am, you think this is absolute breach of Vienna Convention that the authorities in Dhaka of the regime there have allowed this kind of situation to happen? All right, I think we lost the line there with Ambassador Veena Sikri. We'll get her back just in a bit. She has served a term there in Dhaka. But what is important is that this kind of situation of lawlessness, this kind of gathering of crowd in these numbers is not possible unless the administration winks. And that seems to be happening because since the verdict of the tribunal against Sheikh Hasina, the deposed Prime Minister of a legitimate government, an elected government who was deposed in a coup, and there are telltale signs that the coup was orchestrated by forces inimical to India, by forces who do not have the best interest of Bangladesh, but just to see Bangladesh become a satellite client state, and carried out the coup against Sheikh Hasina government, and she had to leave in those circumstances to save her life. And these crowds are baying for her blood, and they want her to be sent back. While there is an extradition request, there is a due process that has to be followed. In the meanwhile, to create a pressure situation by by indulging in this kind of lawlessness clearly shows the short-sightedness of the regime. Remember, when a similar situation emerged in Kathmandu in Nepal, we have the government in just a few months deciding everything, putting a deadline, announcing a date for elections. But here in Dhaka, they are still debating, deliberating, because Mohammad Yunus, of course, has tasted blood, tasted power, and irrespective of the fact that he is not a mass leader, he cannot get elected. Even the BNP is getting frustrated with him. He wants to somehow create a situation where his stay in power can be prolonged. And so Sheikh Hasina becomes a pivot, and he's using that to create a situation where he can justify his remaining in power for that much longer. That seems to be the case in Dhaka with these pictures coming in. If Ambassador Veena Sikri is back, we'll try and get her. But earlier in the morning, okay, she's not with us, but earlier in the morning we had the Minister of External Affairs issuing a summons and a demarche to the Bangladesh High Commissioner here in New Delhi, suspecting that this can lead to a law and order situation, given the kind of threats that were being received. As a preventive measure, the authorities also curtailed the activities and the working time of the embassy, the consular section for the visas. And remember, India has the biggest visa operating center anywhere in the world in Bangladesh, and that's because so many Bangladeshis depend on India for their healthcare needs, for their education needs, for many other needs, business needs, etc. And yet you have a situation where the Bangladesh regime of Muhammad Yunus is forgetting everything and letting this lawlessness prevail.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can see how these radicalized groups, they are just climbing up the barricades, breaching the barricades with their banners and slogans, and they are mobilizing more and more people. We also saw some kids jumping up the barricades, Abhishek. I mean, there is, there's so much of, we've seen these so-called Gen Z protests across South Asia. We've seen in the neighborhood there has been a cause of worry, there has been cause of destabilization, and it still continues. And they have become a ripe opportunity for the radical groups to in fact target the forces and target India now, how we see the false narrative that is being weaved and fueled in the country, in Bangladesh, especially what we see on a day like the Vijay Divas on 1971 war anniversary, which in fact led to the birth of Bangladesh, Abhishek. We see the kind of comments that are being made and the kind of protests, so-called marches that have been taken out to target India, which in fact had helped in the making of Bangladesh.
Absolutely, and in fact, Rakshita, Ambassador Veena Sikri is back with us. Very good evening to you, ma'am. Does this not amount to breach of Vienna Convention, failing to provide security to the Indian High Commission there in Dhaka?
Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely unacceptable what is happening in Dhaka, and the visuals of these students being whipped up into a frenzy and then marching towards the Indian High Commission is absolutely a complete breach of the Vienna Convention on protection of diplomatic personnel and diplomatic property. And in fact, there should be a strong reaction from the government of the interim regime in Bangladesh, and they should be taking action to prevent this from happening. But of course, earlier today, as you know, that our government called in the Bangladesh High Commissioner in Delhi and spoke to him very strongly indeed, saying that this is unacceptable and they must stop this kind of frenzy. And there's no reaction from the Bangladesh government. And you know that a few days ago there was a shooting incident involving a political candidate for the election, and even that was being blamed on India. They called in our High Commissioner just like that, without any investigation, nothing at all. And I think that this business of this habit that the interim regime has fallen into of blaming India for every action, everything that's going on in Bangladesh, this attempt to whip up an anti-Indian frenzy is very, very dangerous. It affects the security and stability of our diplomatic staff there. It affects the security and stability of our borders, because we have a very long 4,000-kilometer border with Bangladesh. And it affects the bilateral friendship between the people of India and the people of Bangladesh. So this anti-Indianism that is being whipped up is very much linked to the elections which are forthcoming. And they are trying to, whip up take away the support from Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. But they're trying to even, decimate that support by whipping up anger against her and against India. So I think that the government was absolutely correct to call in the Indian High Commissioner and to call in the Bangladesh High Commissioner and convey our views in no uncertain terms. And I hope that this should have led to an end to what is being shown on your screen, but it has not. And we have to consider what further action the government of India would be considering on this, because this is absolutely a very dangerous situation. I think there are hardly any occasion in any part of the world where you would have seen such demonstrations against the Indian High Commission, and with no action being taken by the police.
That's amazing that despite knowing that this can lead to a security situation, Ambassador Sikri, this was allowed to happen despite Indian Ministry of External Affairs, issuing a demarche. This was allowed to happen. We had Hasnat Abdullah, the leader of the NCP, the National Citizen Party, just yesterday or day before yesterday, say that 7 sisters can be cut off. Muhammad Yunus has led from the front in terms of dog whistling, saying that India's northeast depends on Bangladesh. So obviously this is orchestrated, this is planned, this is aimed at creating a pressure situation, and in some ways shows the paucity of mind on the part of Dhaka that they can think that they can pressure India.
Well, this is all directly attributable to the pressure that Pakistan is applying on Bangladesh. Ever since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, Pakistan has been sending its generals and sending its ministers and sending all people to Dhaka to create the pre-1971 situation. And part of this venom that Pakistan is telling Bangladesh to pour on India is related to India's own sovereignty and territorial integrity. And Yunus himself, when he was in China in the month of June, I think, talking to the Chinese businessmen, spoke about the northeastern states as though Bangladesh has exclusive access. And after that, the people had just taken this up and they are repeatedly talking about the northeastern states, and Asim Munir has himself spoken about an attack from the east. So this shows the completely unfriendly and inimical nature of this Yunus-led interim regime in Bangladesh. And I think that India has to really consider seriously what the next steps should be, because this kind of allowing the people to demonstrate in this manner is creating a feeling in Bangladesh that is completely incorrect. The people, in fact, are saying more and more, it was better before. Aage bhalo chilo. We don't accept what is happening now under the interim regime. This is what the people of Bangladesh are saying more and more. But to counter that and to blame everything on India, the Yunus regime is allowing this kind of goons to act freely, with the police just standing by helplessly.
Absolutely, Ambassador Sikri, as you rightly pointed out, that that there is a fanning of the communal fire that continues, and this is all being done deliberately. It's all orchestrated. We see that how Muhammad Yunus has been, giving these forces a free run, and that's all being done keeping in mind the upcoming elections as well. We were literally dragged his feet to even announce those elections. Ambassador Sikri, he himself knows that in how much, in where he's actually standing. It's a complete, the entire state is in a disarray, and there is that he's doing everything possible to cling to power.
Yes, absolutely. These are nothing except efforts to cling to power, because his regime has proved to be completely unpopular. He has ruined the Bangladesh economy. There is high unemployment, there's high inflation, factories are shut down, people have nothing to do. And so to divert attention from all the ills that are there is no foreign investment coming in, no private investment coming in. So there is absolutely no hope for anybody there. The media is completely under control. They don't allow the media to write anything at all. And they have changed all the media boards and taken over whole media boardrooms. So it is a very, very difficult situation in Bangladesh today. But this kind of action, again, directly against the Indian High Commission, the properties, the people, the High Commissioner himself, this is something that is absolutely a new nadir, a new bottom that the Yunus regime has brought in. Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ambassador Sikri, for joining us on Republic TV. Former envoy to Bangladesh, Ambassador Veena Sikri was speaking to Republic TV and pointing out what's been going on in Bangladesh, how the radical elements have been given a free run. Muhammad Yunus continues to cling on to power and following the commands of the radical groups like Jamaat Islami. And this is the scene from outside the Indian embassy in Dhaka, viewers, where the march has been obstructed by the police. Now we'll shift our focus to some other news that is coming in from Shamli district, viewers. This is from Western Uttar Pradesh. It's a big story, the triple murder case. Wife's decision to go to her parents' house without wearing the hijab proved fatal. And now we are getting in the All India Muslim Personal Law Board not reacting, in fact, it's refusing to comment. All India Muslim Personal Law Board and the AIMIM silent, complete silence on the matter. A man kills his own wife for over hijab and then kills two daughters, buries them in the house itself. And this matter comes to light. The bodies are excavated after 8-9 days. And this is what is happening. The Muslim Personal Law Board, the advocates of hijab, who go on to debate, who go on to the streets and talk about so-called targeting of minorities, misleading the minorities. And now they're silent on this murder. They're silent on this murder. Entire hijab lobby, Asaduddin Owaisi, Badruddin Ajmal, Maulana Madani, who just called for jihad recently. Maulana Mahmood Madani. The Madanis, the Ajmals, the Owaisis, they are all silent over this murder that took place, this triple murder. Innocent lives. 3 people, 3 women killed. 2 children, 2 girls, 1 woman killed. Why? Because of hijab. The woman refused to wear hijab. Husband kills and buries her. The 2 children also lose their lives. Merciless killing in name of hijab.
वो 1-1.25 महीना 1.5 महीना रही, रहने के बाद वो उसको लेना आया अपने दोस्त के साथ। उसने वो ताकत धरी यानी कि मैं अब कुछ नहीं करूँगा मेरे ससुर, इसे भेज दो, मैं अब कोई गलती नहीं करूँगा, अब को इसका नहीं मारूँगा।
ये अभी जब आई थी
जी
तब की बात बता रही हैं?
जी 8, 10 तारीख 9 तारीख तक का हिसाब है। उसको लेकर चला गया, उसी रात में जाने अगली रात में उसको कर दिया ये काम। घर वालों ने कोई चिंता नहीं करी।
आपको ये बोला कि अब नहीं करेंगे, अब कुछ
करूँगा, गोडों में सिर देकर कहा अब नहीं करूँगा कुछ भी, जिस तरह भी आप कहोगे मैं इस तरह ही करूँगा, आप मेरे साथ भेज दो बच्चों। 5 बच्चे।
तो चलिए, ताहिरा का समझ आ गया हमें, लेकिन ये दोनों बच्चियां तो इनकी खुद की अपनी थी, जो आफरीन और सारीन नाम है उनका
जी। हाँ, उनको भी मारता होगा जरूर, उसको नहीं मैं कह सकती। बच्चों का कोई पता नहीं चला, लड़की को बहुत दुखी करता था। मेरे भाई ने सहन करा, उसको यही बोलता रहा अच्छा रखेगा, थम जाओ भी, रुको भी, कुछ नहीं बोलना, रहना बेटे वहाँ। अपनी बच्ची को सभी समझाते हैं, सभी कहते हैं, बाकी वो नहीं समझा। इन्होंने सोचा घर उजड़ जाएगा, इधर रखूँ उधर रखूँ, बड़ी बच्ची सैनी होगी, 5 बच्चों की माँ होगी, घर भी नहीं रख सकता।
ताहिरा आप लोगों को बताती थी आके कि ये परेशान करता है, ऐसे मारता है। उसने ये भी पता चल रहा है, उसने ये भी पुलिस को बोला है कि उसने बुर्खा नहीं पहना था, वो इसलिए बहुत गुस्से में था।
हाँ, वो बोला था, वो जो यहाँ आई थी उसने बोला था अगर मुझे भेजोगे तो मौत के घाट उतार देगा यो मुझे। उसने कहा नहीं, जब ये हाथ जोड़ रहा, मिन्नत कर रहा, आरजू कर रहा, बेटे चला जा अपना घर बसा, फिर देखेंगे हम जब कब का करेगा यो। उसने यही बात कही थी, तुम मेरा मौत का मुँह देखोगे, और वही मौत का मुँह मेरे भाई ने देख लिया।
All right, so this is a deeply disturbing case that has come in from Shamli of Uttar Pradesh. This 38-year-old man kills his wife and 2 daughters over this fight over burqa. Police say the accused Farooq dug the pits inside his house and buried the bodies. And we have some more breaking news coming in. Asaduddin Owaisi refuses to take a stand on the hijab murders. Well, he's part of this hijab lobby, has been at the forefront of it, and now he refuses to react. Instead, he indulges in whataboutery. He says that debate Nitish first. Now, he's referring to the incident when Nitish Kumar had in fact, pulled the face mask, the niqab of a woman during an event, and now he is saying that there should be debate over what Nitish did instead of the hijab murders. So murders, it seems, is not a serious issue. Completely non-serious issue for Asauddin Owaisi of the AIMIM. The hijab lobby turns blind eye, goes mute on the triple murder over hijab in Shamli. And meanwhile, my colleague Shambhavi has filed this report from Shamli where this triple murder took place. Take a look.
We are at the location where this unfortunate, shocking case happened, and we're going to take you through the house. So outside you can see this is in one of the very secluded villages of Shamli, and we're going to take you inside and show you the exact... So this is a very shocking case where a man named Farooq actually murdered his 32-year-old wife Tahira and 12-year-old daughter Afreen and another 5-year-old daughter Sareen. This is inside the house. We are now entering inside the house, and what he did was he actually woke Tahira up in the middle of the night on the pretext of making tea. When she woke up, she was on her way to make the tea, and then he fired on her back. After hearing the gunfire, after hearing the sound of that fire, the elder daughter woke up, and when she woke up, she saw the man Farooq killed his daughter as well. After this, when the younger daughter, the 5-year-old daughter, woke up, he strangled her to death and hid all the 3 bodies in a pit inside this house. So this is the house. Let me show you, and let me also show you the pit in which he buried the 3 women, the 3 ladies, the 32-year-old Tahira, the wife, and the 2 daughters, Afreen and Sareen. Now this is the pit here. This is around 6 feet deep pit, and this was not a murder that was done in a fit of rage, but this was premeditated. He actually dug this up on the context of building up a safety tank for the washroom in his house, and he actually got this done before because his wife had left for her maternal home just a month ago, and he felt that he was being insulted by his wife because he wanted to, the woman 32-year-old Tahira wanted to do things her own way. We're also going to show you around. This is somewhat of just outside the house, you can say the porch area, and locally this is not, you'll see this is not very huge. This is just mostly an elevated side where you can see the bedding and stuff, and there are a lot of construction items as well. Possibly he was collecting all of it to show that they are going to build up that safety tank for the washroom. We are also going to show you around, and there are 2 rooms. One is this room, and they were saying that this is right here on this ground is when Farooq fired at Tahira. This is one of the bedrooms, and the another room that we'll show you is right here. I'll request my VJ to show you this room as well. This looks something like a kitchen on one side, and then there is some bedding involved as well. So this is the house, the same exact house where this murder, this brutal murder happened on 10th of December. And one of the chilling fact about this case is the 3 bodies were hid in that pit for more than 6 days. This only came to light on Tuesday evening when Farooq's father guessed that there was something wrong, and he went to the police filing for a missing persons report. And when the police interrogated Farooq tried to mislead police initially, but then confessed to the murder of all 3 people.
Right, now we was shifting focus to what happened in Madhya Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wedding that lit up the skies, ignited a debate at the same time. There are viral videos from Indore that show an opulent celebration for the wedding of the son of BJP MLA Golu Shukla, that complete with grand decor, a religious spectacle and fireworks. Now these fireworks are reportedly worth 70 lakh rupees. It wasn't just the scale of the celebration that drew attention, it was also the privilege on display with visuals from a restricted area of a temple. That's the Garbhagriha of a temple, where the devotees can't really enter. Now, this was close to the devotees since the COVID-19 pandemic, but here you have the MLA's son and the one who is getting, and his bride, exchanging vows at the Garbhagriha. and the 70 lakh worth fireworks also.
हमारे साथ बीजेपी विधायक गोलू शुक्ला हैं। गोलू जी, आपके बेटे की शादी काफी चर्चाओं में है।
शादी करना कोई गुनाह है क्या? शादी करी है, अच्छे से शादी करी है। बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई, लड़की वालों ने अच्छा से स्वागत करा, सब कुछ अच्छे से हुआ, तो फिर क्या दिक्कत है?
मैं ये बताया यार, 70 लाख की सिर्फ आतिशबाजी हो गई। एक
रसीद है क्या?
रसीद नहीं है, लेकिन जो
लिखा हुआ है, अब आंकड़ा 70 करोड़ का लगा तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो लड़की वालों की कार्यक्रम था, बारात लड़की वालों के वहाँ गई थी, वो भी मीडिया समूह से ही है, डिजियाना से, आप उनसे बात करो।
एक तरफ बात होती प्रदूषण की, AQI लेवल की, दूसरी तरफ 70 लाख की आतिशबाजी हो जाए।
मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, बारात लेके हम गए थे, हम तो अब वहाँ क्या क्या हुआ ये उनसे पूछो आप।
लेकिन आपके मुख्यमंत्री सामूहिक विवाह करते हैं, सामूहिक विवाह में बेटे की शादी करते हैं, और आप इतनी ज्यादा जो आपने।
मैं भी 50 जोड़ों का सामूहिक विवाह करता हूँ, 51 जोड़ों का अभी फरवरी में सामूहिक विवाह है गरीब बच्चों का, और बहुत अच्छे से और बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से करता हूँ, आप भी उसमें आमंत्रित हैं।
एक और वीडियो वायरल हो रहा है खजराना गणेश मंदिर का, गर्भगृह में जाकर वरमाला किया, ये भी नियम विरुद्ध बताया जा रहा है।
हजारों लोग गणेश जी के दर्शन करने जाते हैं। आप सुबह से लेकर शाम तक खजराना गणेश मंदिर में रहें तो आपको दिख जाएगा कि सैकड़ों लोग वहाँ दर्शन करते हैं।
आपको कुछ गलती नहीं लग रही? इतना पैसा बर्बाद करना, इतनी आतिशबाजी इतनी ज्यादा करना, फिजूल खर्ची करना, आपको ये फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही? थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाइए। फिजूल खर्ची नहीं लग रही?
एक मिनट आराम से, इस तरीके भैया, सैकड़ों लोग दर्शन करने जाते हैं भगवान के, और हमारे परिवार के बच्चे भी दर्शन करने गए थे, उनने अच्छे से दर्शन करे और भगवान का आशीर्वाद लिया। आप एक बार गणेश जी के मंदिर में जाके देखें, सैकड़ों लोग गर्भगृह में दर्शन करते हैं।
लेकिन ये हो रहा है कि इतना पैसा खर्च करना, एक तरफ गरीबों के पास पैसा नहीं, दूसरे इतनी आतिशबाजी, इतनी जश्न और
अब भैया मेरे को मेरे काम से थोड़ा निकल जाने दो।
So in Madhya Pradesh, 7 million in smoke, and now in the national capital, millions of people are just breathing smoke. Blame game over pollution in the national capital continues. Now, Delhi Environment Minister Mahinder Singh Sirsa has apologized to the people of the Delhi for severe air pollution. Now, he's announced some measures, 50% work from home for government employees. He had just said yesterday that it's impossible to clean the air in 9 to 10 months, blaming the previous Aam Aadmi Party government. And now we also have a sequence where public TV reporters had confronted him. Take a look.
Mr. Sirsa, what do you have to say? People are now voting for Nota over AQI. Any response?
अभी हम पीसी करके आए ना, अभी पीसी तो करके आए।
Experts are warning that 10 months would have been sufficient for the government to solve this issue.
क्या तरीका है? आप ऐसे क्यों?
Response to the situation.
कैसे करके आए सबके साथ बैठना? आपने सुना सब कुछ, फिर आप
ऐसे saying it's impossible to solve the problem within 9 to 10 months.
कर रहे हैं आप ऐसा?
What is your response?
आप ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपको इनको एक को हैंडल कर पाऊंगा ना, तो आप बोले, हाँ बताए, आप सुन लिया अंदर ना? सब मैं था नहीं, मैं अंदर। अच्छा नहीं सुन रहा तो आप दूसरे से ले, ऐसा अच्छा नहीं। अब आप बताइए।
You said that it's impossible to solve this issue within 9 to 10 months. Experts are saying that. You apologize. How do you see this? Do you think people would vote for this after what you have said that it's impossible? It's impossible to solve this issue. Any response to that, sir? Because the situation is worsening.
Please, आप अपना क्वेश्चन तो बताएं.
My questioning, you have apologized that it's impossible to solve this AQI issue. Experts are saying that this could have been if the government had the wheel. Do you think the government has failed?
Who is expert that's told you? Can you name that expert? So we can at least have a conversation with them and find out. I think it is not I said it's impossible. I must again reiterate, it's impossible for any government, for any purpose. If it was been possible, then why it took 10 years for Aam Aadmi Party?
So how many years maybe? What many years?
Please let me answer your question, please. It is not about the years. It are the what steps are taken. We have to completely go with the fossil fuel vehicles. You should adopt EV vehicles, which we are doing. You need to have an end-to-end carpeting of roads, so there should be no dust. You need to remove that all dumps of legacy waste, which we are otherwise doing. So these are few changes which we have to bring in, and it will bring change in the pollution.
people are voting for Nota over AQA. So that
मैंने अभी आपके
response
दी थी ना, पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी, इस पूरी इंटरव्यू दी थी ना आपने। तो मैंने आपको पूरी इंटरव्यू दे के आया हूँ।
How do you see people?
पूरी इंटरव्यू दी है।
People are suffering from respiratory problems, lot of problems, asthma. How do you see that from people?
No, it's a big problem we are facing.
You've shifted the blame.
No, I'm not shifted the blame. No.
The government and the federal
Aam Aadmi Party was here for 10 years. I think you must go and interview Arvind Kejriwal ji for that why they haven't done it for 10 years. If they're expecting to be done in 7-8 months, they should have done it in 10 years.
So what's next then? How do you see
We are working on it. We'll let you know again.
Right, shifting focus now. We will step into short break, but on the other side, coming up, this is exclusive. 7 p.m. Indian Embassy in Dhaka under attack. Radicals are now taking to the streets.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा,
राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
प्लीज स्टॉप। झुमका तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका। No. मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
प्लीज स्टॉप। झुमका तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका। No. मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा,
राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
प्लीज स्टॉप। झुमका तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।